Need it. I don't need it.
All right.
I don't need. Donnie will tell. They'll tell me if somebody.
And
says
we
that.
are live. Welcome
You wear 'em.
to the
You
Nice
can't
Guy
hear
in It
every time you do
podcast
it.
special edition. Solid Steele, a legacy. With your host, Donnie Green.
What's up, everybody? Nice Guy Indie Podcast here tonight. We're coming off. We got some legends in the house.
Donnie, hold on.
MWA legends.
Donnie, hold on 1 second. Just real quick, wherever y'all drinking, let's just put it up for Jim before we start this, because there's no Solid Steel without Jim Chadwick. So let's just do
Jim
that.
Chadwick.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
Love you, brother. Carry on. My bad. Just had to do
So
it.
we got one of Kentucky's biggest, meanest tag teams ever with Solid Steel. Also, we got special guest Mark Money Man Morris sitting right here to my left.
Starbucks.
What up,
Starbucks.
Donnie? What up?
Starbucks.
That's right.
I don't really know what else to do. Let's just get it started.
Let's get it.
That's right. Take it away.
Well, I guess we'll start from the beginning. I got trained. Well,
Yeah, what made you even get into it?
all right. So when I was 8, we always loved wrestling. It was a
Day one.
family affair for us. So like when we were kids, our uncles would take us to Rep Arena once. What was it?
Thursday, the first Thursday
Every
of
Thursday.
every month.
Thursday.
Third-
Right. Whatever.
It was
We
either
went every time, but
Thursday
we
or
sat
the
in the
first.
top. And we got but anyway, we went every time. My dad and all his brothers. So that's what started. Well, then we started. Well, me and him always, as kids, would wrestle in the fucking bedroom. Put my dad's
hours.
bikini underwear on and fucking wrestle, dude.
For
Yeah.
hours.
We'd burn through a bottle of ketchup a day doing blood.
blood.
And look, Mom, they were like 6 and 7 because we were watching it on TV. Mom be like, "Where'd the ketchup go?" "Oh, I don't know. I don't know what happened." But we're using it
I
for
walk around smelling like rotten.
ketchup. So then, when I turned 18, I just get out, football, pretty good athlete, and Johnny Reeves. Johnny Reeves was always a friend of my dad, and then one of my very best friends, Shay Van Winkle, is actually kind of like Johnny Reeves' adopted brother. Like he grew up in Johnny's household. He was their next door neighbor, and his mom, all her kids is Johnny's age, so they's way. And Shay was a little kid, and she took him. Like he called her mama. And
Those that don't know or remember Johnny Reeves, he was tag team partners with Denny Fargo. They were the Boogie Woogie Man.
Bam
He
Bam
wrestled
Johnny Reeves.
for years in Georgetown. I remember going and watching him when I was a kid. So that's who Johnny Reeves is. He was around forever.
So I was 18. I was done with football. I was done with school, and I asked Johnny. I reached out to Johnny like, what I need to do to wrestle. And he said, "Well, come to Nicholsville." They was having a show in that old Kroger when that Kroger closed, and he said, "I'll, introduce you to Fargo." Well, as after he said, "Stay for when the show's over." So we went to the show, stayed for the show was over. Johnny walks up with Fargo, said, "Hey, this kid wants to train." And Johnny walks off. Fargo looks at me and goes, $2,500 and I'll train you, and walks off. He gave me a card, and I was like, as an 18-year-old kid, I'm like, you think that's impossible? Like I probably could have got a loan or paid him payments, but I didn't even ask because that's all he said and walked off. So I was like, well, fuck, I can't get $2,500. I work at Sonic not Sonic. I worked at Rallies or McDonald's, somewhere county market, something. Not enough, And so I said, fuck it. So I went to work and all that, did the deal. So then brother was running.
Lynn Blueprint. Lynn
you
Copies.
go ahead with that.
Yeah, I was doing Lynn Blueprint, Lynn Copies downtown, and Danny had
Nicholsville.
Nicholsville. And at the time that we was in Lexington downtown, we hadn't opened in Nicholsville, but Danny had been bringing his flyers down there to the one in Lexington downtown, and I saw it one time, and when they picked the flyers up, I went out and talked to Danny, And I was like, "Are you the one that does the wrestling in Nicholsville?" Because we had been going to Georgetown
Right.
and watching, been watching them every Sunday.
Got us going to Nicholsville. He told us Jimmy Valiant was going to be in Nicholsville, and I said, "You're shitting me." And sure enough, we went down. So then we were
Yeah,
fans. We went and watched. We went and watched. It was Prince Justice and Rated X and Fargo and Johnny Reeves, Dirty Chris. All them legends back then. Marinos, the Greens. I swear to y'all, no lie, no shit. When we go to them shows, and this fucker's dad would come out.
Oh man.
He looked like the meanest old fuck in the world. Now here's the thing, depending on how you knew him, he was the meanest old fuck in the world.
Looking like he was.
Now,
He was.
if you knew him in the way that we knew him, he was the softest, gentlest person you ever met. But if somebody fucked with one of us or his family, his people, like he was that fucking bastard. Like he was like goddamn
What's crazy about
Tasmanian devil.
that is, so we never knew each other at all until wrestling.
Wrestling. Yeah.
Right.
We met. You all had already started for Fargo.
Hold on, I'm gonna wait on that. I want to
Well,
get there because
so-
that's where we're going. We gotta get with him.
So I had went out to the car to talk to Fargo, and he picked up the flyers, and I said, "Hey, I think my brother was wanting to train with you," and I said, "If you could train him, I'll give you half off your copies. I can't get them for free, but I'll give you half off your copies, and then until he works out the 2,500 or whatever." And he agreed with me. He was going to do 2,000 instead of 2,500. But so about probably it just happened to be like 2 or 3 months later, we opened a store in Nicholasville, and it was just me and another girl was working there, and I was doing the work. In downtown Lexington, I was driving, but in Nicholasville, I was doing inside work. And
So they got them all for free.
yeah, so
Right.
I started giving
But that's
them
what
for
paid
free
for my
when-
training,
and that's what
basically.
paid his training off.
So he calls me, brother calls me. He's like, "Hey man, you still want to wrestle?" I said, "Well, fuck yeah, I want to wrestle. Like that's all I ever want to do my whole fucking life." And he goes,
you got to see Fargo.
"You
and
got to go
Nicholasville.
up to Mount Sterling. Here's the
yeah.
address. You got to be there at X, whatever time, 8 a.m. No, you had to meet at Shoney's or some shit in Winchester, some buffet in Winchester. No, you didn't have to do
The kids
that.
needed to eat.
You had to buy your own, but everybody met there. It was like because you had to put the ring up and shit. It didn't stay up like in Georgetown where it stayed up. So we met at a man. I don't know if it was a Shoney or a Bobette, somewhere with a buffet in Winchester.
I think it was Shoney's.
I think it was Shoney's. And then we go to the building, we'd set the ring up, we'd train. So here was the deal. And now I didn't know this thing. So now a couple of things I was unaware of. I was unaware of that Danny had sold MWA to Chris, and Danny had signed a no compete clause, and Danny had basically negated that contract. And here was the deal.
Yeah.
The same week.
It's in the same week. Yeah.
I knew Chris since I was 14 years old. Chris was best friends with my cousin who ran a nightclub, a teen club.
Yeah.
Chris worked the door. It was Junior's Club, and they were friends. So that's how I knew Chris. So when I went there and watched the first time, I said, "Oh, that Dirty Chris that runs the door," because they called him Dirty Chris. He ran the door at Club Zero. So, and I was there. It was my cousin, so I went and came for free. So I was there all the time. So
Stan Sierra watching.
yeah, man, Stan the man. What's up, brother?
Stan.
So Chris, I knew Chris, and I always wanted to wrestle for NWA. And but when we got with Fargo, so I'm training. I go to the first training. I show up. Shane shows up first, and he's just intimidating looking. You know he's red. You know he's red as fuck. He's got
Has
these big
Confederate
fucking
stuff
tattoos,
on.
Confederate shit, big bandana, smoking,
Every shirt was
smoking
Confederate.
Marlboro Light. Getting ready to train. And then here comes Kelly. I want to think maybe Rowdy Red might have showed up, and Disco Kid. Jed was there. Those guys. And I'm pretty sure Fargo wanted to find out the first day if I would just quit. And I know that now I didn't know that then because I've never seen anybody else say, all right, told somebody, Firehouse Fargo, all them guys was there too that was training as well as when I was training.
Firehouse Fargo.
So he told him to make the triangle or the hands and knees on the ground in the buckle, and you come out and take a bump, flip over, land on your back, roll, get up, do it again. So he showed me to do it once. He showed me to do it twice. He showed me 3 times. He said, that's perfect. He said, now do it 50 times in a row. So then, as soon as, I did it. I got up and I was like, okay. Man, I was in decent shape, man. We played softball 7 fucking nights a week.
Yeah. Every night.
We never, when we were, yeah. When we were kids, man, I played with toys.
I'm going to say just hit his boots.
Who is
So everybody
that?
knows we're watching some old footage from
Right.
the Esther Street Jubilee.
Yep.
And this is Ray the Bear, one of his first matches.
Yeah,
against
look at that how
Cousin
sloppy
Jed.
that outfit is.
He's in
This is
a
before Al started buying their outfits.
Right. I'm getting
I
there.
ain't got that.
Hey,
Look,
with a
hey,
5X
You
t-shirt
keep jumping.
and some long shorts
Well, I'm just
there.
saying
You
what's on
keep
here.
jumping
Oh,
ahead.
Jed
We ain't got
Steele.
we ain't got there yet. We're gonna get there. We that's all covered.
Yeah.
Where was we? We was at
You did 100
Flips or something.
563.
oh yeah, the
yeah,
road.
row.
So then he goes, okay, pretty good. And he never got in. Shane had to show me once, and then I have to do it, you know. So then he says, teach him how to hit the ropes. Dude, I bet I hit the ropes for 45. Dude, the next day, no shit.
Oh,
This shit was
well,
purple and green. I never stopped because I wanted it more than anything. So then I did that training session. I did 3 training sessions, and he goes, you're doing a run-in tonight. I said, I don't have no gear, no nothing. He goes, you don't need nothing for the run-in. I'm going to, put it over. So he runs me in on Rated X, of all people. Now, here's the thing. All I learned in those 3 training sessions was how to hit the ropes
And bumps.
and how to bump. And X is good, but he ain't that fucking good. Like, ain't nobody that fucking good that can take a motherfucker that can't do shit else but bump and make it look like a good match. But X didn't know that. He's thinking if I'm wrestling him, he's the champ, I must be decent. So he's like, run in, slide in, grab him, headbutt him.
Oh,
He
man.
gets up again, headbutt him. And I said, I never headbutted
You
nobody.
wonder why X don't
Yeah.
like you.
Hold on.
And X still feels it. He still feels
No
it
shit.
today.
That's why he gets
Hold
mad
it.
every time your name's in
Right.
up.
He
Fucked
said
up.
he had a horn on his
So
head.
I said, how do you headbutt? I never headbutt him. He said, oh, Fargo, it's easy. Just take your 2 hands, put them together, and just hit that thumb as hard as you want to. Brother, I'm fucking jacked. I've never done anything in the ring ever. I hit that motherfucker slide under like the Ultimate Warrior. You know what I mean? I'm like, fuck, and grab X and wham. That motherfucker didn't get back up for the second one. He rolled out and he was supposed to take 2. You know, he rolled out on the stage and he goes, he stiffed me.
He killed me, Jed.
He killed me. And
Fargo, he killed me in there.
so then the match was equally fucking bad, bro. Like, I had no moves. I had no lingo. I had nothing. So X would hit me and I'd pop up and go back. You know, he's trying to do his thing. You know how he do. And he'd like sail and he'd punch me and I'd be like, and I'd try as I'm falling and say, what is that? Like, I had no idea. Nobody taught me none of that at this point because it was so early. But man, he was good with it. He, he got pissed a couple times. And then when he told me, he was like, stay down. It clicked. And then the match was fine, but it wasn't great.
You didn't go over?
Never. I don't know if I've ever beat Ray Diggs. I don't. Honestly,
I have not.
X don't get beat.
Yeah, I have
He
never.
don't lose-
He
he don't lose much.
Beat him one time.
I don't think I've ever beat him that, to my
I
knowledge.
lost one match.
He lost once. and it
So
was a
then-
young man.
So then there was kind of this transfer period, and I think what had happened was, I'm training, so I'm basically coming for free. I'm as big, I'm as loud, I'm not as good wrestling as X, but I'm as, much of a presence as far as a
Look the
big,
part.
scary guy, And when I was that, since I was that big, let me get one of them. When I was that big, all I had to do was choke and clothesline and big boot and body slam. You
Hulk
know,
Hogan.
right? So Fargo seen that as an opportunity because he was paying X good money at that time. He was only paying X good money, as far X was
Kids gotta
X was
eat.
making all
X making all the money, so he seen it as an opportunity to cut that and make me the big heel. So, man, I got thrown right into, when I turned on Jed, got thrown right in the big angle. Did angle with X. Did angle with Shane Parker.
Shane, yeah, I was going to say that.
And then
Shane.
Kelly, like, I kind of went through a couple people. Then Fargo come to me one day, goes, why don't you get brother to wrestle? I said,
And I
man,
would go to all of his shows and
Yeah,
watch
he never
anyway. I
missed.
was there
He was
anyway
there.
for the time he
He needs
went.
more flyers.
I said,
He got them all.
he had
He
everything
kept
he
getting
wanted.
them. Never stopped.
so I said, man, he probably loved that. I mean, he probably loved it. And he's like, tell him come. Don't cost nothing.
Now, this is about the time we showed up, wasn't it? Because he hadn't been working.
Now, here's-
He had just started working when we got there.
yeah,
we
I
were-
think you all
but-
already working, but you
we
weren't
We were
here
already
yet.
working, but I'm
No, this was later.
I'm
This
talking
is
about,
No, he's
no,
not talking about
he's
that.
talking
He's
about
talking
him.
about what you're talking about.
not yet. I'm getting there. I'm right there.
That's
I'm
what
I
I'm
like.
saying. That's about when we
it's-
got there was when you started
Right.
working.
It's almost there. That's where it's almost at because he was bringing y'all. He was bringing your dad,
He wasn't the
you.
Tommy,
Uh,
I think, too.
No, he didn't bring Tommy
you
at
need
first,
Dad and Bobby.
and Petey. They all came.
He's gonna be mad
So
to call him Petey.
he asked me. He was like, "You think your brother will wrestle?" I was like, "Yeah. I mean, I think he would love it." I asked him. I was like, "Yeah, sure." He goes, "So Al came to one training session at Nicholsville.
4
So he set
hours,
up on the
that was it.
thing, and he said, "You got a match."
was in
So
Nicholsville at the football field. At the
football field, and it was a triple tag.
No,
So
it was me and you versus
Jed and Nut
no,
House
just Fargo or Nut House and Fireman or
and
Firehouse.
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 So what's funny
So that's a shits
What's
match
funny-
anyway.
is you all say that. Fargo invited me and Dad to come to that show and watch. He called Dad and said, "Hey, come up here and watch the show. That way y'all can see kind of what I
Right.
have for you all." And we went up there and I was just rolling with Dad. I didn't know. And
I had
went
no
up there-
clue.
we-
I
we
was
went up-
nervous.
We went up there and watched the show. We left. I said, "So what do you think?" Dad said, "Fucking shit." And that's all he said.
Right.
I mean, but that was Dad, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, I had to do everything because all he knew how to do legit the first night was choke.
Joke.
He'd
Yeah,
get
I
in,
remember.
choke,
Well,
tag out.
Remember,
So
I was punching
working.
beside somebody's
working.
head
Luckily-
and Timmy got pissed.
Luckily, neither one of them were real skilled either. So, like, it was slow, but old dude smelled like fucking sour ass,
man.
bro. Like, goddamn.
Watch your
Dude,
shit.
dude, and you're outside, and even though it's a cool night, like,
still-
dude,
it's
you're
on.
still hot in that ring, bro. And you're
You're
and
dying.
and you don't even know this smell. It ain't underarm. It ain't
Oh,
ball
no.
sweat. It ain't ass. You just don't know what it is. It's like
It's just
fucking
funk.
rigor
Like you
mortis
said,
setting
right.
in, man. It's
Yes.
yeah, like it's
Hell no.
Look at this.
Oh, look here,
Look
there.
at
Right
Running
on
at-
time.
Man,
Oh,
Look at this guy.
shit.
look, we got another legend.
Watch
just
out
running
now.
on the
Hang
side.
on, he's got
Hey,
stuff
B
wrapped
Money, you
around
want to
him.
give him a?
You got
Here,
the
put that in
legendary,
there.
legendary Bobby Blake
Hang on,
just
put that in
showed
there.
up.
Long
Put up
wolf.
this
That's
blade.
right.
How are you?
Legends
Come right on
gotta
in,
have
Blade.
it.
Here,
No, you
dude,
sit
no,
down.
no, no.
Lone
When
wolf.
the- When the lone wolf
Lone Wolf,
comes
what's
in,
up, man?
Old and fat.
come on in, Bobby.
What you doing,
For
Lone
the
Wolf?
rest of us,
Go on
man.
in, go on in.
Gotta go see
How you doing, brother?
Skinny Al over here.
Good. Friends
Here,
don't
come
come
on, bring it in.
Al
Yeah,
lost
yeah.
all his weight.
Come on
I'm
in.
sliding right here.
That's
Slide
right,
that
brother.
chair.
Here. Can you get in, maybe? Get
You're
that down the
good.
refrigerator out of the way. Get the fridge
Don't
out.
knock my beer down, boy. No, it's over.
Y'all drinking already?
Already?
Bobby
We
Blake.
don't do a podcast unless we're drinking.
Because this is good.
Everybody,
Lone
Let me,
wolf.
get,
see
let me
everybody.
get to this little spot right here.
Bear's
Because
got everybody blocked.
I'll just
that's all right.
That's
I'm
like
gonna,
the
I'm gonna
shine.
move. I'm gonna give him a shot here in a minute. I want Mark to tell a story because. So basically, we got there, and Al didn't know nothing.
Nothing.
And it was
Had to do
rough,
nothing.
and we teamed up with Donnie and them. But once it clicked with Al, dude, it got just phenomenal real quick. Like we had some great matches with everybody, with Shane and Booty, and
What's
Green.
crazy is So when we got there, we had never met you all, so that's our first run-in with you guys. And I think the first night was it the show where the bathroom was in the fucking middle of the fucking room and you was taking a
Shit,
shit.
yeah.
Was that the
It
first
It was
time you
close,
met?
yeah, I think it
All right,
was.
we'll save that
No,
story. 'cause
that was
I
the
want him
very
to
first
tell
It was at the
one.
high school somewhere.
Yeah.
It was the locker room,
What
men's
was
locker room.
the room where
Yeah.
there was one toilet
You
in
know,
the middle of the
there was a
fucking
toilet in
room.
the middle of the bathroom. That was the
Nothing
only
covered.
one.
There
It
was
was
only-
like
I think it was Jim's hometown, where
no,
Jim was
it
from.
was either Jim's or Fryman's. It was
Mount
one-
Olive.
Mount
Olive.
Olive.
That's it.
That's
I
it.
was
They had
sitting
a
on that
toilet.
toilet.
He had
So-
No, because Chris was there for that. Because Chris went, and he
Why
said,
are you?
he said meeting canceled. Because I was just waving. Save it though. So anyway, at
I'm
that
trying to think of the first show.
all the way up to this point, we're the Steele brothers.
Right, but
Fargo said y'all Steele brothers, Steele brothers. So then he shows up. Do you remember it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, you go ahead then, and I'm gonna let Blake talk after you.
Well, I started with
I'm gonna take a
Danny
break. I'm
back
gonna
at
be-
Georgetown. And when we was talking about X, it's funny. I always wanted to do it. I was in the car business. And Fargo's like, here, give this. And he said, what do you want to be? I said, manager right now. Let me try that and see
Yeah.
what we can do. And he said, we're going to be a rich guy, so you need to dress up. So I wear the
Yes.
suits and come out. At that time, my suits all matched. Everything was good. Fargo said, we got to come up with a name. So him and X is sitting there. And it's 5 minutes before I'm going out. And I'm like, what the hell are they going to call me? X said, let's do the Mr. Coffee. No, let's do something. And all of a sudden he said, I got it. He said, you're going to be Mr. Starbucks. But at that time, Starbucks wasn't, I know what Starbucks was.
Yeah, no.
He said, oh, you a star maker, money guy, all that good stuff. Let's get it going. So we said, all right, we'll do that. Well, we got over to the Jubilee, and they're like, hey, we're going to put you with these guys. I didn't know y'all were new.
Yeah,
I mean,
oh,
you know,
yeah, I
they've
hadn't been
a
doing it
time.
very
I thought
long
they'd
at
been
all.
experienced
Couple
forever.
months,
This is gonna
probably.
be
Maybe
awesome.
6 months.
And of course, Jim was there, and he said, all right, kid, here's what we're going to do this. And he said, they're going to be solid steel, and they're going to fight you all. And it's going to be, and he said, it's going to be the biggest angle you've ever seen in your life. He said, but now be careful because it's
good.
real. He said, it's going to be as real as it gets. People's going to go wild. And we kept, so we're trying to think what to do.
which is crazy is because Fargo wanted it to be as real as possible because he didn't want us to be friends.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
tried to keep
Like,
you all apart.
He
Yeah.
tried
didn't
to
really
divide
want
us
us to be
at
friends
all.
or get
Exactly.
along. Like he wanted heat between
Yeah.
us, like for real, for real.
He wanted
Yeah.
old school because he thought
No,
it would
he
do better
and he
in
would
the thing.
implement.
Try to,
Yeah, he
try to
thought
get
it
stuff
would
going
be-
against you all.
Yeah, he
this
would
one
try to
said
get
this
us
about
fucking
you,
really
and
mad
this
at
one
each
said that.
other. Like for real. So when we would go to the ring, we would.
They'd
put-
have different instructions than we
Yeah,
had.
Yeah,
Like, this is going to be
Yeah.
this, so that way when
we
it
was told one
changed,
thing, they was told another, and then it ended up.
When you get
that's
to the
why when he
finish,
said,
it's changed.
It's gonna be fucking
But
real.
yeah,
It
he's
was
right.
real.
So now just be ready. And then he said, now when you get out there, you let the ref know this, and he'll tell them. And you can see your all's face just totally change.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? And then we go to the back, and then he'd be like, it worked, didn't it? I told them boys. I told them. But yeah, that was some crazy stuff. That's when we started the Tennessee flags. And
Yeah, that you're the one that gave us the idea with the Tennessee flag. Like you got that.
flag. I went down to
How-
Gatlinburg.
how
I go to
big was that
Gatlinburg
fucking-
and got this fucking. it
4
was
by 8,
huge.
I
This
think.
fucking thing was
4 foot by
huge.
8 foot, I
Yeah,
think.
it was
It's
fucking
real
crazy.
long.
That flag was as big as that wall right
Oh,
there.
yeah.
And I'd come out and I'd swing that fucking flag, and people would just be
Go
idiots.
Well,
crazy.
People thought it was real.
Well, and
You know what I'm saying? So it was
Yeah.
Kentucky versus Tennessee.
Yeah,
and
That was the
it
whole angle was Kentucky.
Yeah.
We took
Oh,
that
it
angle
was, yeah.
everywhere.
and what I was trying to tell you before is we didn't know these guys at all until we started wrestling with them. But my dad and their dad grew up together
Yeah.
on the same street, same high school. They were friends. We never knew.
Never
that.
even met each other.
No,
We
ever.
never knew that. They were good buddies. And his dad, before they got into it, met my dad and was like, "Hey, my
My
oldest
boys.
is wanting to get into
Yeah.
wrestling. Can you put a word in for that Fargo guy? I think that's who they've been talking to." And Dad was like, "Yeah, I'll give him a call." And so Dad actually called Fargo
To try to get
and
Bear.
talked to him for Bear during the whole time you all were trying to get in too. So Fargo already heard about Bear through Johnny Reeves, and now Dad's calling
Yeah.
me. And Dad and Fargo went back.
And he got free copies.
Yeah, and then they got
Yeah,
free
free
copies.
copies.
So Fargo was like, yeah.
And we wasn't paying nobody, so
Right.
don't worry
The
about
only
it.
person he was paying at the
Was
time
X.
was X.
X was the
So-
man at that time.
So I mean that was it. So but that's how we started. And
It's funny you said that about the different things because I remember one time I had to wrestle Ice Train, and he was the champ,
God rest his soul.
and I yeah,
This
he
week.
died
This
for-
one, yeah.
and I ended up beating Ice Train for his belt, but Fargo told Ice Train he
He
was
was
winning.
going over.
And then, maybe he told Bear the same thing. It was Bear and Ice Train, but I did it later on. But I remember Bear and Ice Train got into a
Barry
fight in the
Ice
ring.
Yeah, I
Dad-
remember they.
Dad
so,
told me that
So
story.
Fargo told Ice Train a different version of what was supposed to happen, and then he told Barry to squash him.
Squashy.
So when they go out there, Bear's trying to squash him, and Ice Train's trying
He's
to fight.
fighting.
So Ice Train looks up at Bear after he pins him. Like Bear held him down for real and pinned him. And as he was getting up, Ice Train spit in his face as he was getting up.
Oh no.
Oh,
Yeah,
jeez.
So
that was bad.
When they got to
That
the
was real
back,
bad.
Ice Train tried to talk shit. Bear took him out back, beat him up, and drug him through the gravel out back of the Jubilee. Drug him by his ankles through the fucking gravel. Dude, it was the funniest shit ever. It was great.
Anytime anything bad happened to Ice Train, it's funny shit ever.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he brings
Self-inflicted.
Yeah, he
It's
does.
self-inflicted.
Well, we
Yep.
talking about you're all fighting. I was telling the guys before it started, I had a briefcase I carried all the time.
Oh,
It's been
man.
contracts and full of money and stuff. So we're doing this match, and next thing I know, Al and Barry decided they're going to beat me up. They said, "Hey, we're going to throw you into the corner. We're going to, come back out. We'll clothesline you. If you get too tired or blown up, let us know. And we'll take it easy." But throw me in the corner. They hit me. I'm like, shit, I'm dying. Throw me into the ropes, pick me up, power slam me. Next thing I know, they got the briefcase. Throw me back into it again, and they hit so hard the briefcase. Swear to God, had a hole about that big in it. To this day, I still got that briefcase because it's like my little trophy thing. But my big fat head impression was on that briefcase. Been in and carried it everywhere we went to. Speaking of Blade, look at there.
Yep. It's back when I could actually move and do stuff. Somewhat.
I'm just going to tell you, dude. I took so many of your elbows,
Uh,
and I would call for them.
The
I'm like, give me
stiffest
the elbow
move.
from the
Listen.
apron to the floor. I'd always say, give me the elbow from the apron to the floor. Got to do it. And he'd be like, nah, man, my ankle's getting bad. I can't hardly do it anymore. I'm like, dude, if you don't do it, I don't want to do it. All right, we get out, and man, dude,
That point.
I promise you, if you took one of those elbows, you fucking felt it.
There's
2 days
no
later,
stiffer
dude.
move in the
Nobody-
history
today-
of the business.
today,
Never.
That's the stiffest move
I
in
never-
here.
But it looked amazing.
I was
It-
laying
because it was
on my
real.
stomach.
Yeah, it was
It was
real. There was
real.
nothing
It hurt.
to it.
It hurt me worse than it hurt you.
Oh, no.
I was
Hell
doing you.
no.
I was
Hell
doing you all a
no.
favor.
Bullshit.
I was
But
laying
he
on
would
my
always tell me, he
stomach.
goes, oh, my ankle's getting bad.
Yeah, I was on my stomach and he elbowed me, and every
He's like, it kind of hurts my ankle when I
back
do
was-
it now. Oh, man, you got to give me the elbow.
he said you won't feel it. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? No, we was talking about the Jubilee.
What sucks is I only got to work a few matches with Bobby, but all of
You
them
hated
were good.
Bobby.
Oh,
Every single
yeah.
one.
You
All
hated
of
him.
them
So,
were
hey,
good.
you know what? He hated Blade. I'm not working with that fucker. He can't work. All he does is throw stiff elbows.
Never said that.
That's all he ever said.
All he does is
Blade,
beat
you wanna
me
work,
up.
Donnie? I ain't working, Donnie. Fuck him. He always wants to go over. But it was. I mean, it was awful.
Nick
I always
Nick
like
Hims
working
commented and said,
Nick Himes.
Nick Himes, holy shit, this should be a pay-per-view legends.
That's right.
It's a good crew.
No, I don't know.
Hey, I'm glad to see Jessica's watching because
And I don't
mean,
know
she
if
wanted to make sure
anybody
Donnie
that had a
was
bad
here.
match
I
with
would like to
Bobby.
know
We made,
Red's
we
at.
made sure that Jessica was
You
here.
wait till
that you were
Red
here.
goes 4 counties
She ain't
away
going-
before
she
you come
ain't
out of the
going.
house.
She ain't allowed out there right now. So
There was the one match that we had in the MWA heavyweight title tournament where we did it 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
That was amazing. That was like the third round of
Yeah.
the tournament, and we
That
had
was awesome.
one of the best
killed it.
matches. Yeah,
We messed the show.
yeah, definitely.
We messed the show that night. It
Definitely.
was that good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of good matches that night. But I always enjoyed working. I
did
wish
too.
we got to work more.
Yeah.
don't
Honestly.
lie.
I
I swear to God, he's lying through his teeth.
We've never had a bad
I
match.
was a booker. I know for a fact
What's
what
weird?
he said.
What's weird is like for a lot of years, no shit.
Barry, they're lying
People
through
would
their teeth.
people would
What
make
are they lying about?
people would say stuff to where it seemed like me and Blade had a lot of heat with each other.
Heat.
And I never had heat with him.
Nuclear.
And he never had, but
I know
if you
you
hear
supposed to.
everybody else say it, we had a bunch of heat
We was
with
getting
each
ready
other.
to pull the knives
Oh,
on each
but,
other.
well, here's the
I'm
thing.
telling you.
Hold on, Barry.
Here's
Hold
what-
on. This, you not have no idea what we've been talking about. what's the stiffest move you
He
ever
ever took
taken?
you
This
up.
fucker's elbow.
No,
Yes, sir.
He wasn't
No,
even
man.
in the room.
He
Stiff.
wasn't
Hey,
No.
and you think I'm on his team, so when the guy moves and he misses and hits me,
He laid up.
Nah,
Oh, no.
hell no.
and he goes, like he hits so hard, he's got to breathe out so he don't.
You can't
That's
say
him
hook.
on himself when he do
But
it.
here-
You
here's
can't
the
say
great-
hook.
No,
You can't
no,
breathe.
Guys,
breathe.
And what would kill me is Blade would kick your ass the whole fucking match, stiff you to fucking death, and then get to the back, and this motherfucker
pass
laid
out, laid out.
passed out on the floor, and
I'm
you're walking
dying.
back through and beat to fucking
I was
death.
I
You
was
can't get
older.
through the
I was
curtain,
older
but
than
he ran
everybody
over
else.
it.
Right.
He ran in the middle of the floor. You can't get through the curtain
Yeah,
to
you
get
got to
back
step
in.
over him, and you're fucking dying.
I ain't gonna
from an
fast
ass
forward
kicking this guy.
too long, but we gotta tell a story. We gotta tell a story about how this love affair got started. How long it goes back, and
From middle
how it
school.
started over a couple
G.I.
of G.I.
Joe.
Joe mans.
We're so old.
Why'd he do that?
Because he's an asshole.
Tell him, Al. Tell the story now.
So what happened was
Blade,
Bobby
why's
Blade was in. We were in middle school. and-
Junior high, we're that old.
He's an asshole.
Why you gotta
Junior
tell this
high.
on the air?
And Bobby Blade brings two GI Joes. It was I think a twin, one of the twins, and the Cobra Commander.
I have both twins and the hooded Cobra
Word.
Commander.
I had
You
both
still
twins.
remember the hooded one.
The
Al-
hooded Cobra
Al
Commander.
got me both twins in a hoodie.
No, he only
Christmas that
had no. He
year.
only had one twin
The
took
one.
away. But anyway, it was the hooded Cobra Commander that you had to use the GI Joe flag points on the back of the cards
I had
to
him.
mail off for.
Yeah, Bear had one.
So I had to put in some work for this, Al.
So
You stole it.
So the teacher's like, hey, we need to put everything away. We got to take the test, whatever. Well, I finished the test and I never studied anyway. I just wrote anything down.
He's a dude.
And I grabbed his GI Joes out of his desk and I'm playing with them, like, because he's still, he's a nerd. He's taking his test
Oh,
full
man, he's
time.
went over
Full-time
four
student.
times.
Full
Yes,
time.
sir.
Yeah.
He's got to take it. So
A plus,
the teacher
plus,
comes by
plus,
and she goes, are those yours? And I go,
plus.
yeah. She goes,
You hate
I need to have those.
Never.
So she took them for
Never,
me.
never. This is
And put them behind the desk. Well, after the class was over, my uncle actually worked
Oh,
at
plus,
Leestown.
he's distraught.
Yeah, he's tore
He
to
can't
pieces.
finish
He's,
the
Oh,
test.
they done took his G.I. Joe. He's
so
crushed.
at
Failed
the end
the
of the day, so I go back at the end of the class, and the teacher knew my Uncle Eddie, so she had taken the toys to my Uncle Eddie, and he gave them to me on the way out the door. And see, he said, "Are these yours?" I was like, "Yeah, those are mine." I never
Bear,
told
look
Bobby
what I
that.
got.
your
Look what I
friend.
Then I
got.
got them
That's
back.
your friend.
I never told him.
Did you let him do you that way?
No, he
He kept telling Blade that the teacher never gave him back.
Al, let me ask you a question. What good is Tomax without Zaymont?
Right.
None at all.
I know
Bear,
you should have gave me both of them.
I don't even know if Bear. Yeah.
He probably still got it.
Oh, Bear's probably still got
Do
it.
you still play with him?
Bears
No,
got
my-
them.
no,
They're
no,
collect-
no.
they're collector's
Swear I don't.
items.
My little cousin, I had one.
Oh,
I had one
Jason.
cousin about 4 years younger than me. When I got about 15, he's like, "Man, I'm going on vacation. Let me borrow." I had them all in a shoebox, dude. I had a
Yeah, hey, throw 'em
Oh.
out the door.
exclusive collection.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean-
I had some of the ones he's talking about where you had to send in order. I had the refrigerator.
I had
and all
them,
them.
too.
So he took them and left them at the hotel. He
So
was
you never got the hooded.
Never got the hooded Cobra Commander back. Never got.
That's why he's stiff.
There was two twins, Tomax and Zaymont.
I had one.
He
I
had
had one
Zaymont
extra.
taken away, and I had Tomax left over.
But I had one extra because I already had the twins, so I had
Oh,
one
yeah.
I'm
extra.
so mad right now. Golly, Al,
Hey, gotta shoot.
So I had triplets.
They wasn't twins, it's triplets.
Right, so it's different.
So
What
yeah,
was
hey,
I
why
gonna
didn't
do
you
with
say
it?
if we-
if we was to,
I didn't even
to
play
put
with
a
G.I.
value
Joe.
on it at
Oh,
today's
yeah.
day, how much money does Al owe?
Unplayed with, like you
Yep.
keep all your stuff.
Cobra Commander, hooded Cobra Commander that you had to mail in, came in special packaging. And
be
he
worth
taken
what
it.
today?
It'd probably be worth probably about $1,500, $2,000.
Okay, so
Oh,
here's,
no,
hey,
how
so
much-
here-
how much
no,
did you
no,
get
hold on.
for it? How
So
much
here's
did
what
you
I'm
get
going
for
to
it?
do right here. As of today, Johnny is officially going to buy you that Cobra Commander
Johnny,
back.
hey,
Oh,
great
man.
job, Johnny.
Good
Thank
job,
you,
Johnny.
Johnny.
We appreciate that, man.
Johnny, you a
Hey,
nice
They
fella.
can wait. They can
Y'all
call
need-
in
We're
today.
gonna
Send
raffle-
that
Call
shit.
in.
We're going to
$1.
raffle a
G.I.
date
Joe.
off with Johnny
Yeah,
for the
give 'em
money for the
number
Cobra
there.
Commander.
Let them call in to this number with any donations they
right.
want to give.
We need y'all to send some stars to the
Yeah.
podcast so we can get some money. Y'all get paid for the stars?
Yes.
Yes,
All right,
stars,
send me
stars,
stars so I
stars.
can get my hooded Cobra
I
Commander.
ain't seen no damn
Right.
stars.
Bobby Green's watching.
Bobby
So-
Green.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So-
Thanks for coming, Bobby.
Let's talk
Yeah.
And
about-
Jessica
Bobby.
said it bears her bestie.
Who was that?
Jessica.
Oh yeah, of course, because Donnie's ass. He's an asshole.
He's an asshole.
He's an asshole to Jess all the time.
He
And I
always
tell him all the
is.
time, be nice.
He always speaks Spanish. I don't know
How'd
what
she
he's
get-
talking
How did he
about.
get somebody so good looking?
He lied.
He
He act like he was rich.
It ain't just
He
he
acts like-
dyes beard black.
White chick.
Hey,
Women go for the fat
He
white
had
guy.
that just for me back in the day.
Hey, he's lying. He's lying. He met her right after tax time. He had
Yeah.
kids, so he had about 7
She asked me
kids.
what my credit score was. I said 657. She said that'll work.
Bobby
Yeah.
Bobby Blade, know this.
I-
Does everybody in NWA always turn on Jed?
Yeah, I turned on you.
Yeah.
Everybody did.
Everybody.
And I got my first.
And Rowdy Red.
I got my first.
That ain't Rowdy
No,
Red.
it's
That's
Irish
Jed.
Red.
Irish Red.
I got my first win against Irish Red.
Yeah, that's UWA. That's not the MWA.
Oh, I
there.
got
Yeah.
you.
So let's go on these managers for a second. Just this is my piece of what, we went through.
Blade managed you all.
Right.
Yeah, I think
Right.
they all.
Y'all
Who was
started
better?
with
Who
Rick
was better? Besides now, Chadwick. We already paid Chadwick
No,
at the top.
listen. Hear it out, because I got it
I think
already.
I'm
I've been thinking about it all day, and of course Mark brought the hired help element. You know what I mean? Like hired help, which was automatic heat. They hated him because he had stuff they didn't,
They didn't have, and he was
you
giving
know,
it to us.
and that he was paying us, and we would do whatever he said.
He's trying
But-
not to make both of us mad.
He is.
No, hold on.
You're
listen.
already mad.
No.
He's over here cleaning up fist.
No, listen.
be
It's
all
out.
up when
It's
it's
out.
over.
Hey, this is
So,
$1 million equipment setup
so
right
then,
here.
He'll also
of
give you
course,
an elbow
Chadwick-
drop.
Chadwick was what we needed when we first started, because he was also a coach. He was a coach. He was a mentor. He did all the talking, and as far as the mic, there just wasn't no one who was as good as he was on the mic. So then once Chadwick, we kind of outgrew it. It just kind of played his course. He did as much for us as he could. So then he moved on to some younger guys and different guys. So then here's the difference in Blade was you didn't lose a lot on the mic with Blade, but what you gained physically, and at that time,
Because Blade can still go.
well,
Yeah, he can work.
at that time we were physical. We were probably the most physical tag team there was, and we were stiff and Blade was stiff. But then Blade could still talk for us. But by then I could talk a little.
Yeah.
Al could not.
Never.
But
Still today.
it worked good, and Blade just brought that ferocious, like that next level of we're not fucking around no more. Like we're fucking people up, and even our manager will beat you up on the. when
See,
you're
that's the way I
outside.
kind of felt was that
Because,
Mark
like,
brought the money part.
I guess that was the thing, like with Jim when he would do the chokes, and sometimes they just didn't
Look
weren't as
right, yeah.
believable
Blade
as
didn't
because
do it
Blade
as
was
legit.
big. Blade was
Well, you
big.
didn't lose anything on the mic with Blade, because Blade was just as
Right.
talented on the mic.
Yes.
And then then you got the
Jeez, girl.
Blade's intensity
Right.
was there with.
It was almost like he was just another tag team partner.
Right.
Like it was almost
Give him
like
the
we
free
were
ride.
Right.
we
We
were
almost-
free
that
birds.
was
Yeah, that's what I felt like.
We were,
Yes.
we were
Yeah.
a team.
We
Yeah.
were
together.
faction.
So that's why I don't think there's
So at any point,
Because if either one
You
of us were
stepped
out or
out
hurt,
and you
you
took
always
it
stepped
down.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did it all the
Oh,
time.
and we did it all the
Yeah.
time.
So that brought that element too, dude, and it was
because
just.
Blade could
That's
tag.
why I say I don't think you can say who was best or first, second. I don't think.
I think each person came at
gave
the right
us
time.
gave us something to make us the best that we could be. And different and
Well, and for MWA, and I mean, I've been around it for 16 years in MWA. You two, the Steele and the Greens, was probably one of the biggest battles
for like
that we could have had for a long time coming. That's not blowing
Yeah.
smoke. I mean,
Right.
that's straight shoot.
Yeah.
We had a lot of
appreciate
good
that.
angles. I mean, you think, hell, with Donnie, I mean, we did a memorial for his son and had Larry come out and hit him with the trophy. And I mean, we did a lot of, but you two, that foursome there,
And the
could
thing
get
was,
crazy.
at one
We could go
time,
anywhere.
we was going all over the place
Yeah.
with that tag team. Like
With that
all the
match.
promoters was
They
wanting
wanted
to
all four
do
of
that
them
match.
in the
And
main.
a lot of times they'd wait for us to get there, and they'd say, "Okay, y'all the babies, y'all the heels." Like,
and then
Yeah,
switch
we
it up
didn't know.
whenever-
Never
yeah.
know.
or just whoever they felt looked better,
Looked
or
at the
who would be a
point.
better.
Yeah, I was getting ready to
fighter.
say it was a long-running feud that happened over multiple organizations, and it was
Dude,
always
But
good.
here's the only thing: the only two that could baby was Donnie and Al. Me and Bobby could not. But I don't give a fuck. I can't baby. Fuck baby. I hate it. I'll never want to do it ever. and I hated it every single.
I was just
time
used to
did
it because I got beat up as a baby, and I got beat up
You never
as
got
his
to shine.
partner.
Well,
That's
I
what I'm
think
saying.
Bobby
Man,
tried
I
is
started
what
working
everybody's
for
crazy.
Chris, I was never a baby face.
Yeah.
I was always a heel. Like when we met,
Yeah,
I always felt that me and you was neck and neck as far as heels go. Like you, the only difference between us was you was fucking bigger than me.
right.
You had the size advantage, but as far as talking shit, doing the heel stuff, we were here and here. You just had the size advantage over me. But I felt like we was the two top heels at one time in this area. We was one of the two top heels in this area at that time. And that, I know that always drove me to be a better heel. And then when I got with Chris was like, I've got to do something. I've got to split you two up.
I felt like at the time when you wrestled there for a year or 2 years, you were the best baby and you were the best heel at that time. At that time with that angle, and we were going everywhere.
Well, the
you know.
stories helped make
Yeah.
the thing. They thought you all in real life, even though you all were best friends or getting to be
Yeah.
really, really close. Everybody thought y'all hated each other.
Yeah. I remember
And it
Chris told
was-
me, he said, I need you to turn face. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I'm a heel. He's like, I've got to split you and Bear up. He said, I don't have anybody
To go with
to
that.
go
can go.
against Bear. And I don't really have any more heels except Bear to go against you. He said, I've got to split you all up. He said, you all have to collide. He said, that's what I need to happen. I was like, man, I said,
But
well,
you know,
make
that's
Bear
still-
I said, make Bear the baby face. He said,
Yeah.
no.
Never
he
happened.
said, you got to be the
Bear was
baby
too
face.
big at the time.
Well, I
You know,
just-
you were thick.
just didn't
but-
have
I just
that.
don't have that I don't have that. I can be mean and I can be nasty, but I can't be nice and sweet. And
Well,
So
Donnie-
it was weird for me
Right.
when I first started to make that transition because I didn't know how to go out and hug all these damn people and, you know.
I can't remember if it was your dad and him that turned me baby one time, or if it was Shane that turned me.
Okay.
But I was only there like 6 months, and then they
I,
was like,
I think
"This
one
ain't
of the
working."
biggest I think was the biggest difference between us and y'all, and why the biggest difference why y'all didn't turn that corner faster, because you both were trained better. You know what I mean? Like y'all were trained in the fucking backyard your whole life. Like y'all had all the knowledge and all this thing. I think where the ball was dropped with you and Bobby was your dad or Petey should have been your manager, not boss. Because now y'all are out here, you're still green as far as being out in the ring.
Yeah.
You just know all the shit to do. Now you got to watch him instead of your dad or him being out there coaching you guys like Jim was coaching us. And I swear, I think that was the biggest difference between us. Why we grew a little faster. Y'all were better technically already,
Yeah.
but we grew faster because we had Jim coaching us, telling
Jim
us
was
this,
an
that,
attraction.
bam,
You
bam.
all and you two were attractions
Right.
by
Where-
yourself.
where
Jim
you-
was
us,
his thing.
you
Jim
know,
was- yeah.
You and Bobby are coaching, balls.
Yeah, we didn't have anybody. Like,
Y'all
we
balls.
was doing it on our own.
And so it was,
We had no-
And I like what they
No
tried to do with
outside.
Boss. I just
and
don't,
y'all
I
were
just don't think
struggling.
he got
We
you
all
over
know
it.
that when you first start, you're struggling just to keep up, period. So you can't be keeping up with somebody else,
Especially somebody
and,
behind you, you're trying to keep
and
up
be,
with.
so me and Al, all we had to do was walk to the ring and wrestle. Let's see it.
He'd take care of everything else.
Everything else,
Everything
they
else.
did.
We just
they,
had to
they had to do
wrestle.
more. So I think it slowed their progress just a little bit.
Well, I
But
think
like I
what,
said, they were already better as far as technically knew what to do.
So,
and all
since
that
we're
stuff.
on looking back at time, we know that Greens is probably one of your favorite battles. But what's one of your favorite memories that you have, you two as a tag team? What's your greatest accomplishment, or what's the one thing?
My most favorite match. Well, okay, memory.
know, man.
Well, memories is probably Tattersalls.
I was gonna
But
say
my-
That was when I was gonna go
Dude.
with when we was all at Tattersalls.
Yeah.
You
stole it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Stole
we
the
stole
show.
the
You was
show.
with them, and you had Siren too.
No, I was with you. I was with the Greens.
Yes.
And then Jim was with
Jim
the
was
Steele.
with
Jim
them.
was us.
Yeah, you and Siren was with us.
Yep.
And then
And
Jim
Shane
was
and
with,
Tuffy, wasn't
and
it?
then they had Shane and Tuffy.
I'll
That's
let-
probably one of my favorite memories.
Right, and that was a great, thing. But my most favorite match as Solid Steel ever was outside. It was in Lawrenceburg. There was 2 rings, a car in the middle between the rings, a scaffold, and it was on the basketball courts. And there was 8 Yeah, eight.
Eight.
4 tag teams.
Yeah, with 8 people,
So it
4
was,
different.
It was us, Rip and Rage. It was Andy and whoever. Remember Andy that used to do that?
I know
Who was his partner?
Andy Douglas?
No.
Andy Smith.
Andy Smith.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they did
Andy
all the
Smith.
hardcore.
Yeah.
And who was his partner at the time? Remember that?
Barry?
It might have been Big Dog Barry.
Big Dog Barry
And
was
then
his partner.
no, Big Dog Barry was a baby. Andy was,
was
a
it
heel.
Tommy Gunn? Or
Right.
not Tommy Gunn,
No.
but what was the other one that the knockoff Tommy Gunn?
Big Gun?
No, it wasn't Big Gun. It was Tommy Gun.
I think it was Tommy.
And then it was
I think it
Big
was
Dog
Tommy.
Barry D.
But didn't
and-
Tommy take a bump on the car?
It was big. No, Andy did. It was
Andy
Big
did.
Dog Barry D and somebody else. It might have been Mitch. I know.
No, he wasn't there.
No,
at the
he
time.
couldn't roll like that.
And it
Like
was
this,
later. Like
this
it-
match
that-
ended up being fucking
Mitch didn't come till later.
badass. Like we're outside, you know. Me and Al are the babies actually. Rip and Racer are the heels, and Andy and his partners the heels. I can't remember who was with us. I know it was Barry D and somebody else. But anyway, dude, it was fun. It was no rules, no. We got to go through like slammed on the windshield and
You have to break everything you saw
right,
on TV.
yeah.
you got to
tear
do.
up everything.
So,
you
Al,
know.
what was yours?
I think mine. So when we first started, I had a hard time just remembering all the spots. So it wasn't a lot of fun going out there until I got out there, and then it just started doing the wrestling, and I was okay. But I think my funnest match was, it was almost at the last year. I think we were all wrestling, still wrestling. It was Donnie and Shane. I remember where we were, maybe Maysville. Wrestled me and Barry, and we had these long wigs on.
Oh yeah. That was
And we
awesome.
had this, we had those
They-
hats
they
like
fucking
Chucky
people
wore.
up.
Yeah.
And it looked like real hair. Like
We had
nobody,
boggins on with wigs.
yeah, nobody had ever seen us
Through the
down there
match.
before. So
Through
we
the whole match.
we
We'd never
do it.
been there.
And then finally at the end we do a spot where they go to double shoot us off, and we go and they grab our hair and pull it, and the people we
People
were
went
slick,
wild.
bald headed, and
I
yeah.
think that
Both
was
of us
the,
is
I think
bald.
that was the Jim Chadwick Memorial
I think
show.
that was actually
It's somewhere where they had like that.
Lawrence. It was
Because
Lawrenceburg.
me and Donnie had done it like
It
a
was
month before
Lawrenceburg,
at a different place.
But it wasn't Salt River. It was up where that center was. Like when you went on into town, was that school or something right
No,
there?
no, it was in like a it was in like a
That's
county.
what I'm
We had
saying.
not been there. Like everybody from
Yeah, you're
Lawrenceburg
right.
already knew us.
Right,
It was
right,
like
right. You couldn't
it
do
was
that.
like
Yeah, it
somewhere
was
like
far.
Maysville or
No,
something.
it's farther than that. Yeah.
But
Hey
we
guys,
got
don't forget to give us likes and send some stars this way to help out with the podcast.
All right,
Everybody
Bobby
that's
Blade, your
tuned in.
favorite Solid Steel match?
And get my Cobra Commander figure back.
Yeah, fucking Al. He's an asshole. I did, man. It was cool.
Oh man, I probably the one where y'all did the I don't remember if it was a single match or a tag team match where y'all did the fans bring the belt match, and you told
Me
me,
and you saved my life that night.
oh yeah, thanks.
That was me.
Yeah, he tells me
Oh,
before we go out, he looks at me and goes, dude. He said, when I go down on the floor, all these marks are going to have these belts in their hands and they're going to start whipping me. He says, you make sure you get on top of me and block them.
Because he had
So-
that sport coat on,
So,
dog.
that didn't fucking matter.
Oh. Well, here's what's worse.
No, I'm not
Go
done.
ahead, go ahead.
He takes the bump to the floor. I jump on him to cover him. Here comes all the people with the belts. They're whipping me, and it's ripping holes in my jacket. And I'm sitting there going, "Bear, you motherfucker!"
Hey, you didn't feel the pain, did you, Barry?
Right.
No, I,
No,
so
I
I
did.
saved
It was just both
I
of
saved him, and you know what he did? Oh, thanks, dude. And that was it.
So here's what's real fucked up about that was Salt River. Not Salt River, but
That was
SCW when Shane was running it. So I was like, man, let's think of a match where we make you some money. So I go to the dollar store and I buy every belt there. Every belt we go to dollar stores everywhere cheap around there and buy all the cheap belts, Goodwill, everything. We get 20, 30, 40 belts. I don't know. We sit there, we cut all the buckles off of them, and then we told Colonel Tom, said $5 a piece. Belts.
So there one
Sold out.
Hell yeah.
Sold every one of them for $1.
They would have paid 5 or 10. They would have paid
$5
whatever.
to get to hit the
I
wrestler.
was about to say, to be, yeah.
Colonel
Yeah.
Tom couldn't do it. He said, I just couldn't do it. I charged him $1. I'm like, Tom, I
paid more than that
I
for
paid
him.
more than $1
You paid
for
$3
him. I was
for him.
trying to make some money for the,
Hey,
For the
you
show.
know what else was a good match?
and then I had to get hit with them.
The funniest one I ever thought was the boxing match.
Our first
Oh,
boxing
God.
match.
Oh, yeah. That's
Dude, when
great.
you
And
beat
it's
that
not on
up for
tape.
real, dude. That was the
That's
greatest.
great. Oh, yeah.
It
That
was
was
so-
awesome.
Look,
I
he's
gave
mad.
him the
Look, he's still
business.
He's
mad.
mad right now. Look at him.
He's
He's
mad.
I gave him the business.
You know, it's not
That
a
was
match.
the best shit.
It's not a match, but it was a funny memory and everything. When we had to work the concession stand,
Yeah.
and
Right.
people are coming up asking for chili dogs and stuff. We
We're
give
just
them,
making whatever on it.
yeah, whatever. And it was great. We were laughing the whole time. Everybody mad at us and everything. It was
Hey.
awesome.
I'm cool. He's asshole and he's asshole. Remember what he did to your water at the Continental Inn? Don't
What are you talking about? I don't remember that.
forget. Blade.
I didn't play no
I did
pranks.
slip a little Viagra and Blade's water at the
At a
Continental.
show.
I just and I just want to thank you for that too, man, because it was an awesome night for me.
The best night he ever had in
Yeah.
his life.
He was fixing to go out to the main event. This motherfucker is rock hard. I was like, Blade, bro.
No.
He said, I fucking am. I said, what are you going to do? He said, I'm on 12 o'clock. He flipped it up 12 o'clock and went to the ring and man. And he was in the main event with fucking Abyss
Yes,
and
and cat. Yeah.
Humongous.
Oh.
Humongous and
Humongous.
Abyss was in the, or was it Cat and Humongous? One of them two.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I think it was Cat because he had to take Cat's move.
Cat, it was Cat and Humongous
Cat
in the main
Atomic or
event.
something.
Blades fucking rock hard. Dick's at 12 o'clock, tucked in his waistband, and he's taking Cat's fucking
Fuck
finisher.
All because Cat and Humongous were rubbing up on him.
You remember the night that you all worked with each other at Continental Inn at poolside?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, and,
And they dragged you
They
out
dragged
of
me out, and I'm looking at y'all going, "Help! Help!"
Drug him out. Oh, dude. And I didn't know what to do. I was like, man, if I kick these.
That was right after I come back from my broken leg.
Leg broke.
Well, I was thinking, like, if I kick this Continental Inn security
He didn't wanna
guard
lose
in the
the belt,
face,
did he?
we're going to lose our show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
2
Blade
years.
looked-
That's my
Blade
worst
looks like
memory.
he's calling for
Yeah.
help for real.
Hey,
Like,
all
I
right.
don't know.
So Donnie, what's your worst memory like of Solid Steel?
Bear broke
Now,
my
hold on,
fucking
Mark's
leg.
got to do it. Hold on. And he's the host. He don't get to talk
Oh,
about
yeah, he
it.
gets to talk.
Mark
He
gets to
to
talk about his favorite Solid Steel moment first.
You know, watching you all fight was always unbelievable. And at the times at the Jubilee, I mean, there were some matches there that it was just like unbelievable. Me personally, of course, I liked it when you hit me with the briefcase because I can't remember much after that. But I mean, that, just seeing that part of it and seeing you all grow was really cool. We've talked about the best.
Oh,
What's
I
the
think we got a
worst
caller.
match?
We got a caller.
Don't be Bobby Green trying to steal.
Bear, get on there.
Here, Bear, talk to him.
Who is it?
That's
Oh,
Bobby.
Who it is?
Gotta be Bobby. He's
What
calling
up,
in
Bobby?
doing a run in.
Who's on?
Is this Bobby?
What's up, y'all?
What up?
It's Bobby Green.
I was just calling in because, dude, y'all are getting
Bobby,
all
tell
of it.
everybody how much Donnie hated Bobby Blade.
Bobby, what do you want?
Bobby Blade used to change mine and Donnie's diapers when we was kids.
Bobby said you.
Bobby Blade used to, like, powder our dang dang when we was younger.
I really did, for real.
All the way up to
All right,
16.
That was just, I just stopped.
What'd you have to
last year.
tell us?
But Bear, the belt match was when me and you tagged against Justin and Ice Train
Yeah, that was.
up
I
at
did
the
another
Jubilee
one.
building. Because I know me and Bear hit the floor one time, and dude, Nanny and them beat us to death.
Yeah, well, that was. That was like the second one, I think. I'd already.
That's the
I
only
did
one I
by
remember.
myself with Blade, and I got fucked up for real. Like, they fucked me up. They wore me out. They got me in the back of the head, everywhere, man. They tore my ass up.
Yeah. That's how tough he's got.
Nice shot.
Bobby Blade, I did a Google search and I found out that a hooded Cobra Commander without the card, not in box, is $130. The original.
Hey, we don't need that many stars in left. Only 200 stars to go. We can get
Come on,
Bobby
let's
Blade
go.
his
200 stars,
Get
need
it,
Cobra
bring it to me,
Commander.
and I'll give it to him.
stars for Blade.
Look,
Stars
right?
for
Just
Blade.
send them to
Get it,
me if
bring
you
it
got
to me,
one.
I'll bring it to you.
Or they can
Make
send
sure,
it to
make
me.
sure you send it to
So it
Al.
could be a
To
gift.
me.
Send it to Al.
That's right.
Al, make sure that Bobby
Make
Blade
sure you
gets
get it.
Don't get it to anybody with the last name Steele.
Send two.
37 North
Send
2nd
two.
Street.
Yeah, because they get them. Bobby Blade ain't getting them.
Do you got both of them?
Bring them up here.
Do you?
Can I
I
have
only got one of them. I got Tomax, but not Zaymont.
Can I have them?
Do y'all remember? Because I know as we went, we all got split up.
Right.
And,
I mean, me and Blade were just me and Blade for a long time too.
I
You know,
mean,
just
that's
me
what I'm
and
saying.
Blade.
I know. As a tag team, me and Bobby got split up. You and Al got split up. Do you all remember your last match y'all tagged together? As far as
Yeah, because Sheik brought us back. Larry brought us back to wrestle Eamon Cap and Marcus Johnson, or Ronnie and Marcus.
and Marcus.
Yeah, Ronnie and Marcus.
Premier players.
Yeah.
yeah, Larry was good for bringing people back. I remember I told him I was done. I didn't want, and he. Oh man,
Just retired more times.
Dude,
I just need you.
It's always Larry be like, man, I need you.
I need
I got this young guy. I really need you to work with him. It'd be good for him, man. Could you just do one more run, man? Just one more. Man, I love Larry to death, so it's hard to tell him no.
Yeah, I could never tell
And he's
him.
like, man, I gotta have you. I gotta have you. Then you get there, and I'm like, dude, you didn't need me. You had plenty
You
of
got
fucking
27
guys.
people in the locker room.
You did not fucking need me. But he just wanted to fucking have me there for whatever reason. And then that's, yeah. And then
That's
he'd
when
stick
it
me in
happened
some
right there.
stupid
Right
ass
here's when our
angle.
feud. This is when our feud started. At the end of this, you come out.
And y'all got a fan.
Yep.
She said, Chris Rose said, I love arguing with the Steels and the Greens.
One of the funny stories when we first started wrestling Bobby and Donnie, they did Crime and Punishment one time because the Greens had gotten Loser League Town. Well, everybody knew it was them, but they go to shoot me in.
They
for
didn't know
a
until
double-
Bobby fucking opened his big mouth.
talking. They go to shoot me in for a double backdrop, and I just said no. I just stopped like this because I had never done it. I didn't
remember
do a
that
regular
time.
backdrop, much less.
Yeah,
I said no.
remember
Look,
that.
they shot me in. I just dropped down on both of them and then crawled over the bear and make the
That
tag.
Jim in the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Al, what about when we had you up there in
Jack
Nicholasville
Guys,
and
I'm
Jim
gonna have to head
Chadwick
out
had you
here.
up there? We was up there at the
Hey, Bobby, let's get
fairground.
together by MWA,
Oh, yeah.
Solid Steel videos.
Yeah,
What
you
kind
can
of videos that?
you can go to my YouTube channel. Just look up Lone Wolf Bobby Blade. You'll see a picture of my ugly face going like that. Well, I don't know if you can see me.
I don't think I come out.
Donate
But,
a couple of dollars
there
to
you go.
his.
There.
You
You're
know,
not
for his
subscribed,
G.I.
Johnny?
Joe.
Right there.
No, this is the Nice Game podcast
Yeah,
page.
you-
I'm
okay.
subscribed to yours.
All
Hey,
right.
you got 1,000
Now I
subscribers.
made him
How much you make off
subscribe.
that?
0.
What the heck?
Because of music.
What?
But look up Lone Wolf Bobby Blade. You can go find Solid Steel and Greens on the MWA videos there. I've got several
This
different
whole page
promotions,
is
but
great.
I got a ton of MWA videos on there. Just check it out. I would appreciate the subscription. Everything helps. I mean, I'm not making any money off of it, but the thing is, though, is everybody's finally getting to see this old footage and all that stuff. So, you know, keeps the memories alive.
That's right.
Al, what about that night we was up there in Nicholasville fairground?
Green, but
Oh,
Yeah, Crystal
And-
Rose, she loves Bobby
She
Green.
loves you.
yeah.
She used to always flash Bobby when he come out to the ring.
So I'm
And
gonna
Jim
go
had
and
you
head out. I
take
just
your
wanted to come in
shirt off
and say hi
outside.
to you guys.
hey, you stealing your
all that
cider
stuff.
again.
Thanks for
Yeah.
tuning in.
Yeah.
Thanks for dropping in, brother.
Yeah.
That was the first night I
One
ever
night I
wrestled.
host, Blake comes in and steals
first-
steals
It was
all
your
the
time, yeah. Took 15 minutes here.
At least he
your
didn't
time.
elbow
Always
drop
be a
you.
big part of Solid Steel, bro.
Yep, definitely.
Blake Brothers, always good seeing you, man. I'm glad you stopped in, for real.
Yeah, I'm glad I did too, man. I just want to say one thing to Al. I remember the Cobra Commander situation.
Oh my God.
Don't go to sleep tonight.
Hey,
Hey, yeah, that's the one he said was
Johnny
gonna
is,
hit you with.
you know, starting
Hey,
fun
don't
for
let
that. So.
don't let Sean touch you on the way out.
That's awful.
Sean, don't touch you.
What's wrong with
Johnny.
him?
Drop the
What's
heavy
wrong
Johnny,
with
can you
Sean?
tell Sean not to touch
What?
Bob? Tell Sean
Yeah.
not to touch
What's
Bob.
wrong
Yeah,
with Sean?
and-
Tell
Drop the
Bob.
heavy
So,
metal
welcome
plate
to
on
the
my foot last
wheelchair.
He's
week.
gonna try to touch you
You
on the
do
way out.
anything for workman's comp.
Oh, don't
Hey,
eat.
be
Bobby.
good, brother.
Don't eat.
Oh, is he one? He's got
Workman's
workman's
comp.
comp.
He said he's gonna hit you with an elbow drop while you're sleeping
Oh,
tonight.
God. Hell no. I'll just pay him
Sean
140.
Mark Morris.
Starbucks.
Man, what kind of show is that when Bobby Blade just drops in like that?
I know, right?
Right.
That's the thing
We've
about
been trying to get him in.
That's the thing about this podcast, man. You just never know who's going to show up.
That's right.
You got certain guys that are invited and they show up, and then all of a sudden that door opens up and it's something.
Be
like,
anybody.
You just never know.
Exactly.
Like, we just over time we just evolved. But we evolved because the people we were wrestling, the people who were in our corner, the people who were around us, like all did what they were supposed to do too, the way it should be.
Well, and I want to say a few things. When I first got started with Bear, I know there's a lot of hazing that goes on, but somehow I was excluded from all that from Shane and Donnie and Bobby. I think just because of Bear, everybody had so much respect for him because he'd do anything that they wanted to do, you know, in the ring or whatever.
Oh, we hazed him.
Yeah, oh yeah, he took it. Oh
Bear
yeah.
got double.
I never got it from Kelly or Shane or you know, so I always.
Your brother took it off.
So I never gave it to some, you know, to people either, like, you know, because y'all, they done me so well. I never would, you know, like with Justin and, they, you know, Donnie. Poor Justin, that's all I can say.
Boy.
I floored him when he had
Lord,
that,
Justin.
he had
Yeah.
that ring
tried to
thing,
kill him.
man. He was mad at me. Justin was mad at me. I was like, I wasn't even there.
So y'all watched MWA wrestling since y'all was young, like for years. That's what most of us grew up on.
Yeah.
Around here, that's
It
all
was
it
a-
was. That was
it
the
was a
place to
cornerstone.
be. That's
Right,
right.
It's 40 years in business, right?
Yep.
It's
That's
over
right.
40
Over
years.
40 years.
Over 40 years they was in business. So, like, at one point or another, anybody come through MWA.
Yeah.
So, in the years that you all have been watching it, I know that there's been lots of great heels and heels that stand out, and you got. It's hard to pick a top bunch of heels from MWA because there's so many. But baby faces, I think you can narrow it down pretty easy.
Right.
What's your top 5 baby faces that since you've been watching it, from the time you watched to now? Who do you think is your top 5 baby faces? Because heels, you can go a thousand different
When
ways.
X was on,
Yeah, if he was baby,
X was.
he was the best
he was
baby.
the
If
man.
he was the heel, he was the
I
best
still
heel.
think L's a heel. X is a heel. That's
Okay.
that's me.
Cat, for sure, Wildcat.
Cat had
would
the
definitely
look.
be right there.
Bomb.
Rob the Bomb.
I give you my 5.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Bomb was a better. He was such a good
I-
fighter.
here's
what
my
I'm saying
5.
this though. For
Like
you.
Justin Idol was just a baby.
But
Like,
Chucky
ever, like-
Smooth, love him, hate him, whatever. Chucky was so over.
I think he
for a guy
might.
that couldn't throw a punch
Chuck's
for
in my
nothing in
top
his
5.
life. He was the he couldn't wrestle like John Cena. But as far as going and doing the stuff
The
for the
baby face
kids and that
stuff.
part
Chuck's
of it,
in my top
he
5.
lived
the-
it. Chucky Smooth would have to be
So
one of the top 5.
here's my top 5. Dale Man.
I
The most
didn't-
over.
we never saw him ever.
Dale Man was the
I
most
never-
over in MWA ever.
Danny Fargo.
I was going to say
Danny
Danny.
Fargo.
I was going to say
You got that
Danny.
Fargo.
Billy
The
Travis.
Marinos.
I
God
didn't watch
rest it,
him.
Billy.
I know
Billy
he
I went to
is.
high
Travis.
school with
I
Billy.
watched him in
He
Memphis.
was he was on the same level as Wildcat Chris Harris. That's my number 4.
I've never seen him.
He,
So I got Dale Man, Danny Fargo, Billy Travis, Wildcat Chris Harris, Chucky Smooth. That's my top 5.
Yeah.
Just because of crowd reaction.
yeah.
I don't care where you went,
Chuck was
anywhere in the
over,
state
man.
or anywhere. Those guys, everywhere they went, they
They
were
were-
over.
yeah.
The crowd I don't know.
They believe.
They went to
They
those
believe.
guys.
Donnie, what about Steve and Billy Marino?
Colonel Tom Knight
So,
when we did
Billy
the,
Marino, they're
From
on
what I
the mention,
seen,
but
Man, Fargo.
those are my top 5. Like anywhere Chucky went, I don't give a
He was
shit.
over.
It didn't
He
was
was
what
over. It don't
promotion it
matter
was.
what
It
promotion.
was. Chucky was always
you
going
could
to be
go
a
down to
baby face.
It
Redneck's
does not
place
matter.
and Chuck with the fur coat.
and the,
I'll
and
go
the
anywhere.
bandana.
And Chuck, the kids, man, what he
They
did with the
loved the
kids,
kids.
and he would go to
Free
the
pictures,
hospital
autographs.
and
see
shit.
everybody.
So what Chuck did outside of the ring made him like he's in my top 5 for
Yeah, I
sure.
agree.
As far as baby faces go, in Kentucky,
That's pretty much.
That's
Steve was
just
the John
covered.
Cena.
but that's my 5. I don't know who y'all's are.
Well, you got the Parkers also.
X. Because when he was baby, he was good too.
He was the
Like,
baby.
He could do both.
He was probably the most hated
He could do
heel.
both.
and the most
and
loved
one- and the
baby.
most
Yeah.
over
He's
baby.
probably
I
the most back.
Anytime I think of X, I
I'd
just
think of heel
top
too.
heel.
Yeah.
Right.
What about
Uh,
Hayes?
yeah,
Hayes
Hayes
top heel.
when he was a baby too, but he was better. Like them
He was
two,
heel.
they were.
I think
he
Hayes was
Hayes'
better
daddy
as
was
Oh, he
fucking-
was Ron
he
Starr was
ridiculous.
unbelievable.
Ridiculous. heel.
So yeah, Rob Bomb for sure.
I remember when we were in
He was a
Georgetown at
great
the
heel, but he
show.
was still man. He was a really
He
good
jumped off the
baby.
top rope and landed. When he did, his ankle went sideways.
Mm.
And I had just started. We go running back, and then he's like,
Jake
"Get your ass
Cross.
out there! Get out there! Finish the match!"
Cross was a good baby too. You know
Like
what
I
I'm
think
talking
Chris was better
Yeah.
when he was the owner. When he became the owner,
Justin-
he
Justin
wore
was
the
about?
shirt,
Justin
the tie.
was a great baby.
Justin,
Justin was over
He was over
everywhere.
Justin had the
Everywhere.
look.
You're right.
I mean, he was built. So
And he
had
put the
had
work
pretty
in
look,
and-
yeah.
I don't think you
Money
got
in.
more heat than touching Justin as far as being in the ring with somebody like that. You
Oh, like
when we beat up
Continental?
Justin, dude, that
Continental
was-
Justin was God.
Oh, yeah.
He
Yeah.
was-
was Lexington.
But Al, don't
Yeah.
forget about the Southern
I mean,
Sensation.
he just brought the house. I mean,
Al can't hear you. He don't have his headphones in. But yeah, Shane Parker was over too. But as far as just top, I'm talking about everywhere we went. Like there was some
Right.
places we go, Shane wouldn't be over because people just
Well,
didn't know him.
Danny, I mean, but he was
Because he would try to heal, and he couldn't
Yeah,
heal.
he was like legit the man. Talking about Billy Travis, you know, Billy hadn't passed away.
Billy
Billy
Travis
probably
is
was
old.
one
When
of the
that's
most
right,
famous-
Mark. I forgot about him.
Yeah, I mean, he would have been.
Billy
big
was on
time.
his way.
way up.
Way,
the,
he was
way
on
up
his
the
way
ladder.
up.
Yeah, he graduated. I think it was 2 years.
I think
before
this is
me.
when he hit me.
Well, Bobby Fulton, Donnie remembers him when he was at MWA. Hell, Macho Man was
So
at
who was the
MWA.
most talented worker?
Oh God.
Not
What do you
single,
mean?
not tag. Who was the best in-ring worker
From MWA
from
ever.
MWA or that you ever worked? Best big man by far.
Abyss is a good one. That's a good
Chris
answer.
Oden taking the slam 2 or 3 times
I mean,
when
he
everybody
just-
was running out.
This had it here
Yeah.
and just in the ring. He was really talented.
And he wasn't stiff. To be that
No,
big,
no.
he was. I mean,
Well, I think it's kind of hard to say that because, like, you know,
Man,
being
fucking. I mean, it's hard to say.
Chris
man.
Harris was
Like,
good, man.
cat.
Yeah, he was.
Them left-handed fucking claws.
God.
Mama Steele said her favorite baby faces were Tom Parker, Wildcat, Big Al, Shane Parker,
Yes,
and Wildcat, my
Pizza
fave
mother.
top babies.
I
said
mean, you
Wildcat
can't
twice.
forget
Or did Johnny
Chris
say
Michael.
Wildcat?
She calling you Al
Sean
Big
Casey.
earlier.
He did.
John
Hey, Sean
Casey.
Casey, good. That's probably his biggest baby.
Chris Michaels and Sean Casey.
Both of them.
Especially in the 90s, they were
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, Sean, the biggest baby.
biggest baby ever in Georgetown. I still think today is Wildcat Chris Harris.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I've
a
seen
They
so
went
many people-
wild over it.
Bobby
It
who?
was that's back, you know, Thor coming in. He was the look. He was everything everybody wanted.
Here's something I want to know. We all been in the ring with a lot of different people. Who was your favorite, like, bigger name that you got to? You
I
know,
tell you who
chance
the
to
worst
work?
was. Jerry Lawler.
Really?
He came in and me and Chris brought him in a bunch of times, and he flew in one time. We were doing a double shot. We were doing Hazard, and we were doing Richmond, and we were
I
doing in
remember
Richmond like I mean it's
my
unbelievable.
favorite.
And he was mad because he had to drive a
We-
couple extra miles
He,
than what we told
yeah,
him.
we picked him up. He always had a buddy that came down.
He wanted to know
gimmick
exactly
guy.
how many miles it was from one place.
We were
to
30
the other.
minutes out from Hazard, and he started flashing the lights at me and Hayes, and pulled up and said, I want to know where the fuck you think we're going. I'm not driving this fucking 2 goddamn hours to a fucking show. I mean, cussed it. Then we get there, and Kyle and Eddie are selling the programs for $1 a piece.
Had Lawler's face.
It had Lawler's face on it. He went in there, and of course Hayes put me in with him. You're all over in the locker room, and he said, "You tell that motherfucker I'm going to beat his ass. I'm not going out there." So we had to give up every gimmick we sold. We basically had to give to Jerry to make up for the night. He was
Because he was selling the same picture
the
for
same
like $5
picture,
or
yeah,
$10
trying to get
or
more.
something. Yeah.
Then he tried to hit on my sister.
Hey,
In
but
Richmond.
Mark,
That's the
wasn't
night
that
Jimmy
Donnie?
or Abyss and all y'all went up to Pure Gold, and Chadwick, they got back there dancing,
Oh,
and
yeah,
Chadwick didn't have no money. That's that same night that Chadwick went up there and y'all
Think-
he didn't have no money.
My
Sat
favorite
back there,
was probably.
5-6 songs worth.
Yeah, he
Didn't have a dime.
Told him he didn't have $1 to
She
his
said,
name.
"You want another day?" Yep,
Yep.
I sure do. He come back here.
But Mark, wasn't that when Jerry Lawler found out something bad about his friend on the flight up?
Here, hold up your beer and say this is sponsored by. How you gonna get by all of us?
I'm gonna go that way.
Go around.
I can't go that.
You can't go that way.
You're gonna have to
We got
sit
technical
Oh,
difficulties.
Yes, we do.
You can slide this
Oh,
way. Donnie, you can come this way.
No, I'm not going that way. I'm going right through
He just shit on me too.
Quit you. Trying to grab your balls.
And we gotta hold it back.
What's
The things we
sort
do.
of physical violence?
This break is sponsored by.
That's right.
We don't know yet.
By Modelo.
But we had a lot of fun.
The host
matches,
can't
but,
leave, Donnie.
Light.
I had a
So
lot
who
of
was the
fun.
best worker? Who was your favorite? Let's do this. Who's your? I know Donnie's gonna be a part, but who's your favorite to work?
for me to work, him.
Yeah, I was gonna say him because I felt like that I could do anything, and even if it was stiff or it was, not,
You didn't have to worry about it.
didn't have to worry about it because he knew,
It was just so easy.
it was yeah.
I mean, it was like we knew exactly what,
Each other's going to do.
like I know exactly how to take his move. Like, I know everything. So
Yeah. All I had to do was
it
just
was
say it.
easy. And it was always good matches. We always
Outside
had
of
really
each
good
other,
matches.
though, probably one of my favorite matches was the me and Bear versus Shane and Jimmy Valiant.
Yeah.
That was one of my. I mean,
Yeah, no,
He's my favorite of all time
My
anyway.
favorite memory ever is wrestling Jimmy Valiant because he was my favorite wrestler as a
The
kid.
Boogie Woogie Man. I mean,
Right.
And he's
when
still-
I watched
he's
TV,
still
there was
entertaining.
nothing.
I
He's
always
still
liked the
entertaining.
heels, and most of the time he was a heel,
Yeah.
So then, but that was definitely my favorite.
So,
And I
besides
wrestled
for
like
working
2
with
times.
each other, what's your most proud accomplishment? What's the one thing that you had a long career, you worked for multiple companies, you've been all over the states.
I think for
The
me,
East Coast, West
mine
Coast.
is just about every place that we wrestled, any organization we wrestled for, we eventually became their champs. And doing it with my brother and going on the road and that, we were always close anyway, but that brought our
Here-
bond even closer, so
I think our biggest accomplishment, honestly, and this is, I feel like this is a true statement, is anytime that we tag, no matter where we are in the card, we stole the show.
There you go.
Like, we didn't have to be, we could be second, we could be first, we could be main event. It didn't matter. Like, it was going
I
to,
really liked it when they put me on in a one hole.
right, it's
Well,
going
you'd
to,
stay for the whole thing anyhow.
it's going to be hard for anybody to follow a solid steel match if they've got a worthy opponent,
So if you had one piece of advice, because now you watch WWE and I guess AEW and TNA and all these, the tag teams, we do a little bit with
kind of
them,
a
not
lost
whole
art,
lot.
really.
The Dudleys, that was the big tag
Yeah.
team. What's your one advice now for these young guys that are getting into it? Because tag really is a way to get yourself both over,
right.
get your name out there. But what's your one advice you could give to those that are wanting to see, what do I got to do to make it?
I would tell them that you have to establish, who is the main guy and who's the second guy, because there's always a second guy no matter what.
No
And
ego
I-
involved.
right,
There's
and I
always
think-
a Batman
That's
and
all it
there's
is.
always a
Robin.
Robin.
Amen.
And I always felt like that I was always Robin because I knew what he
I
brought
was always
to
Batman.
the table. I knew you was gonna say that.
You knew that was coming.
My thing is,
Bobby mad as shit. He's over here cussing my ear.
when you get on there, when you get out there and you get in that ring, you both fight to be Batman.
Yeah,
But-
he's gonna try
but-
to outdo
but-
you, but you have a role.
But
to
you
play.
don't. But you play off each other and you
Can't
make
have
each other
Batman
better.
without Robin.
Right.
That's right. And you can't have
And,
Robin without Batman. You got
Well,
to have.
that's like when me and Donnie tagged. I knew where he was going to be. He knew where I was going to be.
That's me. Like man,
we
if
knew
you're gonna
each
be a
other.
wrestler, be a wrestler. Don't show up in some fucking and fucking
Let's talk
tennis
about. We
shoes
talked
to
about that a
wrestle.
little bit earlier. and then we
Get
kind of got off.
save
of
your
it.
money, buy you a fucking
How
pair of
did
boots.
how did the outfits? How did all this come together? Where you got enough money from all your bookings and your only?
No, my first one was from like
that you could get.
Cosmic Colors in the
Hey,
mall.
Cosmic Color said
There was a
everybody up
lot.
at first.
Yeah, there was a
baby.
lot of
Cosmic Colors was the
But
shit.
mine was
just-
airbrush.
Everybody
Yeah.
was getting them shit.
Cosmic
going on.
I
Colors.
just
he
got
made a
tired of
killing.
wearing like just a Superman shirt, so I was like, and then Chuck after he started, he had all the good gear, and I'm like, man, we gotta do
Got the
better.
pants
No,
all
we did it way
airbrushed and
before that
everything.
though. We were kind of
You
the first
started bringing
ones,
the shit up
right? Because
before-
we got the white with the little S.
Oh,
Like we
yeah.
got,
Been the Superman.
we had-
And we had the vest at one
Honestly,
time.
right. We had all kinds of
honestly,
shit.
Justin's the one that made everybody else want to step their shit up.
Yeah, Justin's shit was good.
Great gear.
That motherfucker would order his shit, dude. It would cost him hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
But
He
all
was
his gear-
wouldn't work that dude in Georgetown at the time for Larry.
Yeah.
He said, "I'm not working." He's got goddamn tennis shoes,
He's got tennis shoes on. I'm
and
not
his
working.
shirt has a marker and it says "titties and beer" on it
Yeah.
on a
Redneck
white
Superstar.
T-shirt.
Yeah, jeans.
He said, "I'm not working
blue
at my
jeans,
boat."
Wife
some
beater.
beat up fucking
And
New
one or
Balances
something.
and a fucking T-shirt said Redneck Superstar.
So y'all used to make fun of me because I didn't know. I bought the boots.
Donnie, you remember when we had Justin up there in
From
Frankfurt
Walmart,
and he didn't have his underwear, so we had to hold the show up?
And then I got cussed from one end of the. There's glitter all over it. Fucking ring.
Oh,
we can't
yeah.
get because it don't come
Fargo.
off. But
Don't
we
come
got out
off.
with the ring. It was awful.
I know, and then I had to go home, and my wife at the time swore him down. I was at the strip
You know, that's
club.
probably some of my most fun
Because of
memories.
you,
No,
motherfucker.
of it being real was your wife and Bunny Love at Esther Street Jubilee.
No, Bobby's wife when he was married.
Right.
to Amanda,
Well, that
she
was.
took that fucking water bottle
And threw it at
she
her.
threw it like a softball and hit fucking Bunny Love square in the fucking face and knocked her off her goddamn feet.
It was people
That- I
there
remember
were
that.
freaking
Oh my
out.
Hey,
shit.
nobody
That
was
was like-
madder though than Justin's people.
Oh, yeah,
Nobody.
they were.
It wasn't now. Ron's aunt, Ron and
Ronnie Cook.
his aunt.
Remember she
pulled
beat
a,
Law Dog with that
curtain rod.
What's
that
your-
curtain
the
rod,
hit
wore
him
his
with
ass
it.
out.
Trying to kill him.
But talking about all the old shit,
You
gotta get
Ron
on there.
bleeding.
It's fun.
No, it was Shane
Like,
Parker.
we're talking about
I
all
had
the
Shane
shit
Parker,
with-
and I had him
Touch
bleeding.
blood.
I was
You
bleeding
will
on
lick-
him. I had that blood
fun.
running down my mouth, and Ron, I think it was Ron, maybe Shane's aunt, I don't know. One of them had me by the hair of my head and was pulling me backwards over the rail
Trying to get you.
and was punching me in the face at the same time.
Hey,
trying
Mr.
to get
Host,
me off.
while you're talking about that, why don't you talk about next week's show? What's coming down?
What we got next week?
What we talking about?
Man, I'm having fun. Get on here, baby. I'm telling you, it's fun. They talking about
We
you
got-
on there
You're the
also.
host.
Tell him, Johnny, what we got next
Step
week?
in.
We got Shane Parker and Kicking
Oh.
Kelly Charles
Who's
in
the most
next
hated woman
Wednesday
around
night.
for
Yeah.
bullshit?
Oh,
Yes,
can't
please.
miss.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say
Kelly Charles.
Bunny
and
Love
Wrecking
was the
Crew
most
next week.
hated.
July
Mount
17th.
Sterling
Joey.
They were the
Better now,
Mount Sterling
Paul.
Wrecking Crew.
Probably
Those
the
guys-
best.
Bunny Love was the most hated up there
that
in
we had
Sterling.
for a long time in MWA.
Well, Kelly, and Kelly's also MMA fighter.
Yeah.
Remember how
Good
Gene got
fighter.
over? We had that MMA out there, and Gene knocked that guy out. And Gene
Yeah.
was a jogger.
Look, you enjoyed it, yeah.
He knocked that boy out with one punch. But he came out there, and the crowd thought he was like Superman. He started doing one punch, knocking people out.
It didn't last a long time.
No, it didn't go really.
Hell to them all.
He kind of got into the
Yeah,
ice
Shane
cream
Parker
ball.
and Kelly, that would be a good show.
Man, yeah.
That should be fun.
That's a whole another version.
Yeah, different aspect of things. They actually started. I think they started the same time me and Bobby did, but they were on a different.
They were in
They were over
in
here.
MWA, and then
Yeah.
it split, and they went with Fargo.
Yeah.
Joyce asked, who was the most hated woman wrestler? Patty, Princess Patty.
Patty,
Lady
Patty,
Sadie.
Patty,
Who's Lady
Patty.
Patty,
Patty was,
Who's Lady Sadie?
Patty by
Hey,
far.
Patty got.
she got
who's Lady
monster
Sadie?
heat.
I don't.
No idea.
Look at, why they gonna start all that?
I have no idea.
Uh-oh.
Patty.
You got some behind the scenes technical difficulties here.
It happens.
What is it?
Oh,
hear.
wants to call him?
Oh,
Who's calling in?
I said you can't hear.
Oh, he can't hear?
Can't hear who?
Can't hear us. I think Bobby's talking over.
Bobby
everybody.
over.
Yeah, hung up his
Hang
ass.
out, Bobby.
I think that's
He
what.
was talking overs.
I
They
guess
said you
so.
couldn't hear. I can't hear because I can't hear nothing in his head.
What's wrong with him?
I
Can't
don't
hear
know.
nothing.
It's Bob.
No,
Good
of
Bobby.
us talking.
So you got.
They said you couldn't hear. I can't hear because I can't hear nothing in his head.
What's wrong with him?
Yeah,
Me and Bobby-
It's a family tradition.
Bobby made everything
We're,
quiet.
we're inviting at the end of the month, the last Wednesday of the month, all,
Greens?
the whole Green family.
The whole
Whole family.
Hell yeah.
Any Green that wants to come
Man.
and be on
That's
air.
I mean,
Including
that is
Buddy.
Very, very nice of you.
Including Buddy.
Hey, look.
Oh,
No,
that
but she's not a
face.
Green.
we gonna get that a
Gotta be a Green. Gotta
street
be.
fight
We
from them
invited
now.
Bubba.
Gotta be
He
a
wouldn't
Green.
show.
I'm gonna call Uncle Tom and I'll call Uncle Bobby and see if they want
Right.
to come in.
What about Rooster?
And Bobby.
I think-
And
Rooster's
Rooster.
not a
Hey,
Green.
Rooster's
not a
Rooster
Green.
will call in though.
Rooster calling.
Rooster-
But he
Rooster's a
would.
Green.
He wasn't a Green.
He wasn't a
He's a
Green,
Green.
but he's
But
in
he
the
can
Green
call in.
family.
He's still
He can call
family.
in. He's family.
I see.
How many
Tom
greens
and
were
Tommy.
they total?
And Buddy. And Buddy can come.
That you can count. We're up to
There's a-
15.
Don't forget Lexi.
Lexi's
It's
a
a girl
green.
green.
Got it. There's a lot.
How
There
many-
he is.
Let's name off some of the greens there, Donnie.
There's Buddy,
Let him do it.
Buddy's gonna be the first one.
First time
Wait,
I've ever
wait,
seen
wait,
Donnie
here, get
speechless.
close to the mic. We can't hear you.
Yeah, we
Can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
They can't hear you on the
Here,
thing.
get on the microphone here a little bit.
There we go.
There we go. Let me get you some beer over
7
here.
that I know of.
Oh,
It's
come
gonna
on,
be a
man.
good
You're
time.
being modest.
Man, that's gonna be a big studio.
You're being
right there.
modest.
We ain't got enough room, so
Just imagine
half
if,
the motherfuckers can't come.
Imagine if Rooster and Bobby were ever in a room
Donnie,
together.
Bobby,
That'd be a street
Petey,
fight.
Couple of them
and
are dead, so we
CJ,
ain't got-
and Buddy.
Hey,
5.
hey, actually,
What? Dad Jordan's dead. They ain't coming.
Stop.
Bear him up.
We just
Dig him up.
we just said who was coming. Donnie, Bobby,
Donnie,
CJ.
Dad died a long time ago.
Petey, and Buddy.
I don't know
Hey,
if they even come.
all right,
Did
was
you-
all
there
right.
for
Did
you,
you
though.
Did you contact them?
you're the green.
I didn't. I'm not hosting.
Between Buddy and Bobby, who's the best? Before we get there, you call it. You make the call.
They both got different attributes.
Oh, he's trying.
I think
You
Sammy.
might want to get some tequila.
I think Sammy gets more heat.
Sammy does it.
And doesn't
Because
have
of
to
that,
work on it.
that tooth, though. That's the only reason.
Who's better looking, Bobby or Sammy?
Oh, Sam.
Sammy. He's sexy.
Sammy. He gets more action.
Call him.
100%. Who?
Sam.
Just call him on speaker on
He's
his phone.
probably not allowed to be on the phone because
I
Nah,
thought
he'll
they-
be able to for you. He's
I
like
thought he
that.
was-
No,
he put single
went
the
back,
other
he went back.
day.
He went back to the
No,
warden.
he was single the
He
other
was
day.
single, but he went back to Nancy.
He's
And
not single no more.
No, she won't let him play. Oh, I'll put him on there. We'll see.
Yeah. We can leave him a message
thought-
anyway.
He's not single.
Got him on speaker. We're gonna put him
Uh,
on there.
Oh, this will be good.
That's
Hey,
easy
Nancy
to
won't
see.
answer.
No, Nancy won't answer. But she probably.
Hello.
Hey, is it lights out over at the prison?
What up? Buddy.
What up?
Buddy.
Tell me he's live. You got to tell me he's
Hold on,
live.
hold
Live
on.
right now.
Buddy, this is Bear.
Podcast.
Buddy, this is Bear.
And your favorite Al.
Last week you said you were single. You married back up?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Back at the prison.
I did
Warden
say you was better
tracking it
looking than
down.
Bobby, though. I did say that.
Yeah, we asked who's better looking, you or Bobby?
What time's lights out
Unanimous.
over?
You're close.
Buddy, who's better looking, you or Bobby?
What?
Who's better looking, you or Bobby?
Don't sugarcoat it.
I
All
Yeah,
right.
I am. I'm sexy.
Are you coming at the end of the month here?
You gotta be here at the end of the month.
31st.
am.
31st. Mark it on your
Hey,
calendar.
we'll send you a permission slip.
Go on and put
With the
a
warden.
request to leave.
Conjugal visit.
A request to leave.
He
Furlough.
said
Furlough.
he said you ain't allowed to come, buddy.
Get you a furlough.
Bobby, he'll be here. Buddy will be here.
Bobby will be here, so you gotta be here.
Buddy, Bobby,
Bobby's gonna
Donnie
talk
said you
about
ain't
you.
allowed to
Hallway
come.
match.
God, DJ has the word.
No, he'll be here on 31st.
31st, he's good.
He done
It's
took off
booked.
work.
Took a vacation
So you
day.
gotta get a
You're
furlough from the prison and see if you can come.
I'll be there.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm coming. I'm
We'll see
coming
you
back.
then.
I'm stopping.
Hurry for the catch
That's
the burner
right.
phone.
He's in so much trouble right now. She's swallowing him right now.
Bobby's mad. He tried to call
Hallway
back.
match.
No one answer.
Bobby,
We can't
we
because
can't keep.
You got your
Talks
own
over
show. Bobby,
here.
you got your own show.
Yeah, you're
It's
next.
just
You're
cricket.
next.
That
31st.
cricket phone won't work on there.
The Obama phone.
Yeah.
Damn.
He's almost at a minute, y'all. Just wait. He's almost
I
there.
remember when Chris would have you kind of running shit for him.
Yep.
And you would come to me and be like, hey, you got Lord Humongous tonight. And I'm like, why the fuck?
We thought you were the right man for the job.
I agree with that.
Dude, I had to wrestle that big motherfucker every night.
But you know,
I got a question
Humongous
for Mark.
He was something else.
I got something for
Oh,
you.
yeah.
He was. I mean, he was, but he was.
But he had that weird titty too.
He did. It was off to the side, but the women thought he was the greatest thing ever. They had no idea.
Here's a question for Mark. Is this? I know you work behind the scenes with Chris and stuff. How mad was he really that it took me and Bear so long to get to the ring?
He would throw shoes. It would. We'd give a call time back there. All right, you got 9 minutes.
You can hear him in the back. Get the fuck
Look,
out of
either
here.
tell
heard
him get
him
it
at Fannie
on,
Bush
go,
Elementary.
go. Oh, it was
And
awful.
I took a clothesline on the floor, and he met me as I cut. He said, "Why do we got that big ring out there if you're
If you're
going
gonna
to
be on the floor, you only got 2 foot on the floor, 3 foot. Why y'all out on the floor
I
for?
get so mad. I already knew he was mad over the song. Because you could hear him in the back. Where that
Going
that curve.
wild because that curtain, and he think nobody can hear him. But get him in the ring.
And we just be slowly. Just
I remember
go.
one
Even if they,
time-
hey, look, even if they didn't play our music, if they turn the music off, we still
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 be out
just
there
go.
walking. They
Good
drive
stuff.
him
Every
back.
single Fanny,
Love
this
a
guy
good rip.
got your rat. I think I got it twice from both of you. One
I
time.
know that I didn't really hone in my skills until I started working for Chris.
Yeah.
That's when I really started learning the technical aspect of stuff and my psychology of
That's
wrestling.
what I was gonna say. I learned more the
My
mental side.
psychology of wrestling peaked when I got to working for Chris.
Yeah.
And then Chris started sending us to work for. He was sending me and Bear everywhere.
Yeah.
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 He would call me and Bear, hey, I need you to go to such and such and work for this guy, and take Justin and grab Larry and take them with you.
Yeah, I mean, and we'll get into Larry some other time. But you're basically the one that got Larry D.
And
Chris wasn't going to bring him,
Chris wasn't having.
and you kept bringing him up there and bringing him up there. And I was in part of his documentary he did about
That's another.
coming
Chris,
up there.
Chris
but
100% was
You're talking
not
about
hearing it.
Investing. When you said earlier, when Bear said invest in yourself, there's no better
yeah,
example than Larry D.
Yeah.
You know,
He's
when he
invested.
went, he invested.
Well, he was a guy
Yeah.
that got trained by somebody that didn't finish his training,
Yeah.
and Chris was like, the guy that trained him didn't finish his training with me. Why am I going to use him?
Yeah.
I'm not using. And I was like, man, you got to try him. He's
good.
like, nope.
He can
And I kept
move.
telling Larry, man, just keep showing up. Whatever you do, just keep showing up. Eventually, he'll give in. And I'm not talking about, it wasn't weeks. It was months.
Yeah.
It was months. He showed up every fucking night. Every MWA show
Event,
we
yeah.
done. Larry was at the back door. Hey, man, can you use me tonight? And Hayes is like, dude, quit coming. I'm not going to use you.
well, from the time from Fannie Bush, and even there at the end of Esther Street Jubilee, he was the face of the company.
Yes.
I mean, he was who we
Absolutely.
decided. All right, this is who we're going to put our eggs in, and the angles are going to. You know, we always had different ones. Chucky was probably the most over baby face, but Larry and you, when it came to heat, was. I mean, some of the stuff we did was ridiculous. I mean, we took stuff.
We had some pretty good storylines.
Yeah, I mean, we made it as real could
We
get.
pushed.
We pushed the boundary. We
Yeah.
pushed back. The day that we did the memorial, I mean, we loved it in one sense, but at the same time, that's pushing the envelope as far as you can push it, and it hurt
Yeah.
some people's feelings that never got over it for a long time.
Still ain't.
Yeah, I mean, they still because they thought we were, you know,
It was real.
yeah. I mean,
Just
it
thought
was,
it was real.
that was as crazy as it got.
I remember when Dad passed away, and
Bear was there.
we was
for it.
doing the memorial, and Vic the Bruiser went out
They,
and was
you talking about a good heel,
Oh,
great
yeah, he
heel,
was
great.
great
That's
heel.
very
Yeah.
underrated.
He knew how to
that
get
we didn't
Great
mention
heel.
He
And,
is.
and when Vic went out
Something
and was talking smack about Dad and the greens and the family, running them down, and when he said the only good green is a dead green, I
Right.
remember this one, Bear, and I come to the back, he said, dude, I couldn't take it.
I had to
He said, I had to go outside, I can't take it. I said, what? He said, I love Vic to death, dude. But when he said it, he said, man, I started crying, I had to go outside, dude, I couldn't take it.
Hey, he was there to help you though. He
He
supported
was,
you.
no, Vic, he was
Bears-
different, but he had his own way. Well, the one rule, you know, you got to work behind the scenes. You never work the workers.
Yeah.
But the one time we actually worked the workers was Donnie and Larry
Larry, yeah.
for Jim's retirement match. We knew all along. We planned it for 6 weeks. They're going out to the ring. They have no idea what's going on in the ring. And then we pulled it off, and Jim was at his first retirement, I guess, at that time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
everybody knew that it wasn't going to be Jim losing because you don't ever let that guy go away.
Right.
And in the middle of it, we're like, hey, this is what's going on.
Yeah.
And that was probably one of my favorite things
That
that
was
we
good.
did
Switched
because
it
it
to
was,
that.
yeah, I mean, it was one of those that
Yeah.
nobody, everybody kept quiet. You know, what happens in the business, everybody tells everybody. But that night, no, I mean, there was 4 of us knew.
Honestly, yeah. Honestly, up till that night, Me and Larry didn't know.
No, until y'all got out there, really.
We
right till
didn't
the
know
end.
until we got ready. When we was getting ready to go out and do the deal, then Chris said, "Hey, this is what we're doing."
You're going over.
Yeah.
Because it was
So-
me, Chris, and Chadwick, really the only three that
Knew the whole deal.
knew about it.
Yeah, we had no clue what was about to go down.
Bobby said, "Hey Al, what about when you two were fighting over the light heavyweight or cruiserweight title for MWA?"
That was a good
Hey,
time.
the
weigh-in
When I
scales
had
were
the
off the
scale,
half
yeah.
Steele.
I
was awesome.
remember that.
That
was
was
a
so
good
cool.
And I think that's when I was talking about I had to do the deal with Ice Train. And I
Yeah.
ended up taking the belt off Ice Train. It was just a little bitty, like, kid-sized replica belt. And then Bobby...
Remember you bring the scale out and you weigh in every time. And
You fat motherfuckers, no
You
way
can't-
you
there's
weigh
no
like
way
that.
I know you weigh.
300 pounds. He said, it says 186
Jim would say it.
pounds.
Another one was when Roach and Payne did that.
oh,
Team
the Team Fitness.
Dude,
And they did
that
Let's
was
Get
the
Physical.
best.
That was so cool. That
the
was
best
awesome.
gimmick.
Yes.
I
They would
loved
come
it.
out with that scale and they would weigh their stuff. They'd do push-ups. They would be smoking cigarettes. Dude, it was the best shit ever.
That was
Ever.
really
And they
good.
absolutely hated it.
Yeah.
They absolutely.
But it was simple.
Yeah,
It was so
and I
simple.
tried to
Heat.
get them on board with it.
And Max was training them.
I was trying to
Oh
get
my
them on
God,
board
yes.
and trying to get them to. But looking back at it now, they're like, yeah,
We
we
should have.
We should have put
Yeah.
more time into it.
Well, what happens? Everybody gets egos. They
Right.
think you're
Yeah.
making us look
Everybody wants to be the
stupid,
big
and everybody.
badass.
Yeah.
Like, it was so good. That gimmick was so good.
And I think that's one thing that I can say that, like, everywhere I went, whatever the promoter wanted, I did. Like, we didn't buck the system. We didn't try to position in the card. We didn't try any of that. Just
We
whatever
didn't say,
y'all
"No,
said.
we're not doing
Yeah,
that."
we just whatever you need us to do. And I think that became a good working relationship with all the promoters. And
Well, I used to do that up until I started working for Chris, and then I was the champ for Chris, and Chris was like, "Hey, man, you know, I don't care if you go work for other people,
Can't
but
get
just
put
just
remember,
don't lose.
You're my champ.
you're my champion." He said, "So if it don't make sense,
Don't
don't
do it."
do it."
Yeah.
He said, "And be careful what you do, and make sure it makes sense, and you are the face of the company right now." And so that was the only time I had to tell people. Hey,
I think there was a
can't
couple
do
of times that me and Barry had to say, "Man, we're the champions down
We
there. We
can't-
can't.
yeah,
we can't,
we can't
do
do
that. We
that."
can lose. We can do whatever.
We
but
can
we
lose,
can
but it's
DQ
got
or
to make
whatever."
sense. I'm
but
not gonna.
we can't.
As his champ, I would not ever lose straight up.
But it was very rare that we had to, to do that because most people knew when, usually when they brought us in, it was really just for a brawl.
Well, but think
for
about
fighting.
at that
You know.
time, territories worked together.
Yeah.
When you go to Rogers, you go to everybody was
Yeah.
kind of working together, not against each other so much. Just like when we did Night of Champions.
Yeah.
That's the first time in MWA that you had 6 different promotions from all over the state
That was
come
a
to
good-
one
that was a good
come to
show.
one show.
I don't
And so
know that
they were
anybody
putting
else could have
champions on.
spearheaded that. I don't think the other companies could have called you and said, "Hey, Mark, let's do this."
You don't believe the conference calls we had
Yeah,
over that, getting
that's-
everybody. I mean, for building up to hey, bring this. What do you think
But I
about
will
this?
tell you this: Chris pulled his guys to the side and said, "You better make sure every one of you all are better.
Oh
every-
yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
You better every match we have best be better than every match they have.
Well,
If not, there is hell to pay."
Well, the thought process was, all right, we're bringing all their champions in. They'll see
They'll
their
see their
champions
best.
no good in our curtain jerkers.
We'll see their
So
best.
they'll always come back to us, and we wanted their fans to come.
Yeah.
It was ingenious thinking.
Yeah,
Because, hey, we'll bring them all here. Oh, God, you're all great. You're bringing another promotion. You're going to promote us in your show? No, we're trying to steal your fans.
Yeah. We're
Yeah.
gonna
Bring
show
them
them
over there and
we're
let
gonna
them see
show
what
them
it
that's
was.
exactly what it
That's what it was. It
And-
was a gimmick to get us more fans,
and it worked.
and it worked. It was awesome. It was over so
And
good.
Fanny Bush and in Richmond, hey,
Yeah, the Richmond show.
Richmond show was awful.
I
love
mean,
the
you
Richmond.
knew they were sold out no matter what. And then that jackass Cowboy Mike said that we told him he couldn't have his seat or whatever, and got us in trouble with them. But that and Fanny and the 40th anniversary show, that's still probably one of the proudest things, just because you had Delman, you
Yeah.
had the Fargo, you had everybody going in.
That was a good one.
And that place was standing room only.
I think that's the night Chuck won the belt, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the night we put him over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chuck,
Yeah.
Chuck become the MWA champion that night.
Sure did.
I still to this day, I swear to God, I mean, and I'm not just saying it because Chuck's my buddy,
Yeah.
but as far as being over with the people,
Nobody like Chuck.
man,
I'm telling you.
it's hard.
We said all along.
I put, man, you got from the time I've been watching MWA, I never seen people react to Wildcat Chris Harris the way they did and Chucky Smooth. Now, as far as wrestling talent goes,
Whole different levels.
whole different
Different
level.
levels.
Right.
As far as being
Cat's
a
on a
baby
different
face,
level than most anybody in this room.
Yeah.
You know, but as far as the crowd
Being over.
reaction and people just loving you, those two are neck and neck.
They thought he was the true,
Yeah.
just the common guy that got out there, and kids went
'cause
wild
he
over
started
him.
from security.
Yeah, he started as a security guard. Yeah, he was a security guard.
And he worked, he busted his ass and made his way through and become, you know, this wrestler.
There's-
And people looked up to it. And plus, you know, Chuck just had that good
He had the
personality.
gear. He had the
Yeah, had
He had the
good
look,
gear,
and he
had
got
the-
himself. You think about, he got himself in
in good
kick-ass
shape. Yeah,
shape.
and he did just something about the kids with Chuck, just something different, man.
Yeah,
They just
my
clicked.
son shaved his
Fucking
fucking
head
hair
wonder, but
off.
yeah.
He had
Yeah.
he had long curly blonde. I mean, it was white hair, and shaved it all off.
Well, he came out to the hip hop music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he had
Whatever
the
the new-
glasses
you know.
on, he had the tan, he had the do rag, the
It's
fur
for the
coat.
younger
And he
kids.
could
Yeah, he
never-
was part of the
They
younger
love
crowd.
it.
And he could take a beating like
Oh, he'd get beat
Yeah,
to
you
death.
beat shit out Chuck.
Well, and
he just
everybody he fought was bigger than him.
he'd go
And
more.
who-
That was, yeah.
So if you had a heel and you wanted to get him over, what'd you do? You put him against Chuck.
yeah.
Yeah.
Put you against Chuck. We'll have you screw
Instant
Chuck
heat,
over. Instant heat. You're automatically
Instant
over. his heel. You turned on Chuck more
More
than
than
anybody.
anybody.
in
Oh,
this-
constant.
And it
they're-
worked every time.
Yeah.
Like every single time. It didn't. I mean, usually, you know, I turn on Bear and they go, always get back with Bear. But every time I turn on Chuck, every
People
time
bought it.
they bought it. Every
Nobody
single
was
time.
over more in
Oh,
stone.
in
than
KCW,
Chuck.
everybody bought it.
I got
That's right.
proof. I
Well,
got
that was their hall-
proof
that was
that
their
it
hall of
worked
shame.
every
That
time
was
because
his.
there's
Well, Mel
a
Sterling did
picture
was
of me
Parkerville.
crying,
Yeah, I mean that was
like bawling tears in my mom's
Yeah.
arms because
Shane
you
Parker was
hit
God
Chuck
in
with a
Mount
chair.
Sterling, brother.
Yeah.
Well, he still runs
I
it.
remember whooping on Shane and them beating on the walls to try to get in.
I never
After the
had
match.
heat like when we hit Colonel Tom. When we cut Tom's sideburns,
Oh,
was
that
never
was-
been. Fleming Neon was close, but that we done the Fleming Neon show, and who was it? Easy Money, I think was his name. They come to us, and now me and Barry was huge at this time. They're like, hey, we're gonna let this guy come in. He's a hometown guy, been on TV. It's okay, so
They had no security.
no security. So he was gonna do this Tajiri thing where he flips, hits the ropes, comes back double elbow. Well, that's gonna knock us down. So we asked Jim, and Jim's like, oh, that's fine. Just, you know, let's this town bump. We'll get out of the ring. Won't let him do too much. Well, he goes to do that handstand, and he spikes himself. And when he does, we just looked at Jim at the same time, and Jim said, kill him. And,
Yeah, you had no
and
choice then.
we busted him. Hey, I didn't know if we were going to get out of the building. They had chased us back. So we only one way in now, this place. And the ring was up against the wall. So it was one wall, and there was three sides, and you had to go through the people to get out the
Get
door.
out.
So
That was terrible.
we were trying to get out, and the German's wife, that was Killer Kurt's wife, threw her walker in front of Jim, and Jim fell. Bear fell on Jim, and I fell on Bear. Or Bear fell first, but they was
Fucking
killing me. Then we got back to the back. The guy was like, y'all can't come back no more. The promoter's like, y'all can't come back. And we're like, what
You're
do you
perfect
mean?
heat. Yeah.
And he goes, y'all got too much heat.
We had to get a police escort
Out of
because
the-
when we went to walk to our car, they were surrounded.
Get
by
out
crowd.
there.
They said, you all got too much. You're not allowed to come back. You get too much
They had
heat.
no security.
But it's crazy because
They said we never
We've
seen
been
anybody
told
get
that.
hit like that ever.
I bet I've been told that a dozen times, different places I went to.
Then you go back.
We don't want you back. Can't come back. You
And they
get too
always
much
call.
heat. We don't have enough security to take care of you. And I was told that a bunch of times. You know, hell, Roger Ruffin told us not to come back one night.
That was me.
He said, I'll call you.
Don't call me. I'll
Yeah,
call
Roger
you.
would
He's like,
always
yeah.
call me and Chuck to go against like Nasty Russ
Yeah.
and them, but he
The thugs.
didn't have me and Bear at the same time together,
Because he knew.
separately. But he would have me and Chuck because he knew as soon as somebody touched Chuck, it was over.
You know, and that's when Rogers
You know.
adapted. You think about all the superstars he's had come through
Oh
there.
man,
I mean,
Jesus.
he is.
Well,
LA Knight.
we would get down there. The biggest thing was, so Rogers guys wasn't up on the ribs.
Well, Roger had no tag teams when we went down there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
To the Madison, he had no tag teams.
yeah. So,
He would tag random dudes up for a tag match.
So that was Rogers' place was the only place me and Barry really got to tag together because Chris wouldn't let us tag
yeah.
Yeah.
because he said I can't have my two
Two
top
foot
guys
guys against
tagging
tagging.
against. He said, "Who's gonna fight y'all?"
He let us tag for a couple weeks.
But we go to Rogers, and Roger would be able to pair us up against the Wildcats, the Stamp Linkages.
Yeah.
It'll work.
You know,
Tag
those other
season.
guys. So we had a bunch of people at Rogers that we could tag against. Man, it was a lot of fun. But our biggest downfall was when we get there, we play ribs on Rogers guys.
And they get mad.
And they didn't know how to take it because they didn't do.
They didn't do that. Yeah, they were all.
Where we was at, everybody ribbed everybody. If you wasn't getting a prank pulled on you,
You were in
something
trouble.
was wrong.
Yeah.
You wasn't
Yeah.
in the click. So
That's the Jubilee.
me and Barry would get up there and we'd pull pranks on these guys.
Oh my gosh.
And we basically, Roger just told us, he said, I can't have all you all here together at the
It's
same
too
time.
much.
It's too much. He's like, I'll call you all, but you all will be coming down separate from this point on. So if we went down, it'd be just me or just Bear or maybe me and Justin.
But that's it.
That's it.
Never you and Bear
Never,
again.
Never, ever.
But we would get
go down
Sam.
in a group
We would
anymore.
always get Sam fired up.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got
And that
Sam
was the
going.
biggest thing that pissed Roger off because then he's the
Because
only.
Roger couldn't control Sam.
And, but,
No,
and,
Sam would.
And Roger's the only one that could come close to control. So Roger's the one that always had to deal with Sam. And
Remember
we
when
would
you
get-
told Chad that it's Sam's fault I couldn't get booked in Georgetown with Chris? They told
Dude,
Sam
we
that
would
was
get-
Chad Allegra.
Chad Allegra.
Chad Allegra.
Yeah.
Which
Carl
is
Anderson.
Carl
Carl
Anderson.
Anderson.
So he said,
Yeah.
"Hey brother, what's your fucking deal? Al's the nicest guy in the world.
One day
Ain't
he's
no
ready to
fucking
fight
like
him. He's ready to
Al."
fight him.
He's going to beat him up.
He's gonna cut him.
I was like, oh my god. He said, Sam.
Rooster
they're-
just posted about the difference in working crowds in Kentucky versus in Tennessee. Each area had different things you had to do. Anything about even with us.
Yeah.
We went to elementary school. We had to do stuff different than what
Than
we
you
had
had
to
to
do
do,
at
yeah.
the Jubilee
Right.
or at the
Yeah, I only worked in Tennessee
Man,
one
I
time.
always
That was
play the
on
crowd.
Big Bobby's show.
When I go out, I'm looking for my mark.
One,
I'm
yeah.
looking for
Picking
my
that
big
one
There's
mark.
always that one person.
You find that one,
And you stay
That's
with
all
them
you
the whole
need.
time, and
That's
they
all
get
you
everybody
need.
else into it.
because then you're bullying. Now
Yeah,
you're bullying.
yeah.
You know.
And
Well, remember Nathan
if nobody was biting, then I just go and get in the ring and just wrestle.
but you had
know,
Nathan Blair or whatever his name is there in Winchester had the short arms.
Oh yeah,
We'd all
yeah.
go high five, and he could never reach us if
Yeah.
he wanted to for nothing in the world.
And they
Because
would
he's
bully,
and all that.
you know.
Oh, you're picking on him.
You're picking on him. Yeah. Yeah.
should have tickled him.
Y'all
Well,
used to pick on me.
I
over
think
here at
I think
Continental.
more of the southern states is more crowd interaction.
Yeah.
Johnny,
Northern
let me see
states
that.
is
Let me see what I
spots.
got on there.
That's the way it was.
We ain't-
Now I don't know how it
This
is
is
now,
all steel.
but that's the way it was when I was wrestling. Anything
it's
towards the
all
north,
Yeah, you know.
it was all spot, spot, spot. Everybody reacted to
Go
big
to Bobby's
spots.
channel.
Yeah.
You know, you got a reaction claps from big spots, high spots.
Well, I remember we did the show
You
for
go
Big Bobby up in
towards the
Tennessee,
south,
Right up
it
at
was
the
all
top. Keep
and they
going.
kind of
There you
sat
go.
on their hands until you guys come out, the Tennessee
what
boy,
you
and then it
That's
was
what you've been watching.
that was a heel crowd
Go,
then.
go over to the right.
You gotta-
Because I was
you gotta-
tagging. I think I tagged with Chuck and Tommy Gunn that night. That's when Chuck shit
That's
on.
what Chuck shit on himself.
When remember, always had Tommy and Tuffy start off the show.
Man,
They
that was-
set the stage
hey,
for
that
the
was
first
hard.
match
That
because
was
I mean
hard
they
to
were hard to
follow.
follow.
That was hard.
Hard to
Yeah, I
follow.
mean, so here's the thing, though. What a lot of people don't realize is, they're like, oh, you're on in the one hole. You're on. A lot of guys are like, man, fuck that. That's the one hole. I don't want. It's
I
curved
loved it.
One hole.
That
To
was
me,
that's
was the
it.
main
That
event.
was we always
set the
wanted that to be
stage
the
at the
stage
time.
for the show.
It sets the stage.
And it was
If
hard
you
to
have
follow
a
Tuck in
fucking
there.
good one hole. You
Then
know,
everybody's
every
got to step
match
up to
has
get to that.
fucking-
Yes.
Do better.
Yep.
Well, every match is supposed to propel. You know.
Progress.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
So
Yeah, that's pretty good. I was looking for a certain one though. Okay.
Yeah.
Come on, it's got to be on there.
That's a two-parter.
Yeah, I like this one better.
Look at that fancy. You know how much I paid for that sucker? He's got me so bad on those things. Man, we gotta get a little something. I got
that's
you.
why Hayes
I got
brought you
you.
in to be the partner.
I
'cause you had
guarantee you,
the
I did all.
money.
Well, what?
He
He
was
stayed at
money.
home and
You
he's
had all the
Starbucks.
money.
the one
He
thing.
thought you was
Hey,
really
the one thing
Starbucks.
that drives you crazy.
Starbucks.
Hayes gets all the credit for everything NWA ever done, and for the last 5 years, probably did the least amount with it than anything. But he was the only one who could get everybody booked.
He was the face.
He was the face of the company.
Couldn't tell Chris
And
out.
I was the
Like-
one that had to kick everybody. I had to kick Ice Train out when he came in there stone that day. He wanted a fist fight. Had to tell Mike he wasn't booked when you had him booked. And Tim the baker.
You called him though.
No, that was awful. I was like, show me the phone number, and he showed me, and we called it Donnie. But what are you doing with that number? Is you all calling him?
He said Donnie told me to.
I said, I'm interested in getting you booked.
Mark told me to.
And what's crazy, now of course it started out with Jeff Vickers, the Red Bull Mafia.
Yeah.
We put them together because we had nothing else for them to do. And at one time, I mean, it was
the
we
one
got to
of the
throw
most
something
huge.
over. They got so big. And of course, Bobby got into it. But I mean, they got over so huge.
I don't know, you chug them fucking Red Bulls.
Oh, and pouring
Pour
them
all the
everywhere.
fake- yeah.
But it got to
Fucking
be
ring
where,
sticky as fuck.
oh, it was awful. But it got over
But it was
so big
it
because
was
of
so
it.
over. That was
Yeah,
what-
I mean, it
think,
was something simple.
That was Jeff's one of his biggest
That was, yeah, by
time. He
far.
told me that that was his most favorite.
that's
Jeff
in
was a
Fleming
big part
County
of
there.
getting that over.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He did well, he's the one that could work.
Yeah,
He could do the work in it, and then
Yeah,
Max would
Jeff
come
got
in and
that.
get his little splash, and
Jeff got that over.
but it got, I mean, it was huge how far, and it drove Chris crazy that it got over.
Yeah, but it did.
I mean, it was all. Could you look? There's his kids in the front row going wild.
Well, and
Boom!
at the Paris show, I mean, Jeff.
There's those shorts I ended up stealing off Al. I still got them to this day.
That probably
Where are my
G.I.
Apollo
Joe
Creed
figure.
shorts? That's what I don't. Where
I
did
got
those
them in my
go?
closet.
Hey, the green was awesome. Now,
I
y'all
need those,
when you
man.
came out in the
Wear
green
them,
and
man.
white,
Yeah, I need
I'm about to
those.
fit back on now.
I was
Fit
gonna wear
'em.
them on the floor.
Jesus Christ! I need to get them, man.
I got them and they're in my closet, dude.
Blade
I have to
cheating.
come and get them.
But those,
Always. You know, here I'm trying to have a nice,
Oh,
Yeah.
referee Elvis.
normal match.
Blades
I can't
Elvis
remember.
the
I don't remember one time that
He's
me and Bear
always
really
did.
cheated in a match.
Never cheated.
Never.
Never.
If you don't get caught, it's not cheating.
That's true.
Exactly.
If you don't get caught,
That's
it's not
exact-
cheating. We were
because
so
the,
good
the
at
ref
it.
couldn't see it. It's not his
Right.
Man,
fault.
one time you hit Donnie with this stiff clothesline. You turned him inside out, ass up.
Oh, Donnie's to flip. Now, Donnie's one of my favorite moves in all of indie wrestling is Donnie's power slam.
Oh yeah.
That's hard to. That's
Oh,
hard to
that-
do. And that's not putting
It's
him over
crazy.
here.
That-
But
Joe Stone.
Yeah. What
It
about
is.
Larry D's spine buster? That's a good.
That was a
That's
good
one.
fun.
Yeah,
That's a
that
lot
was
of
a good
fun.
one.
Man, fuck that move.
That's a
but
lot of fun.
the power slam I was always scared
Hey.
to this somebody wouldn't get over.
No,
But
his
he would
power
snap
slam, I
them.
never was worried about that.
He would
That
snap
spine
it.
buster though, he did a couple times. My toes were tingling.
Think, yeah.
Like you can't
You
feel
can't
your
get
feet.
him on. Yeah.
Donnie hit me
He'd,
with a
he'd go
spine
pick me
buster.
up. I'm like, no.
No, bitch. It wasn't
What?
a spine buster. I told you atomic drop when you broke my leg.
He just
you
didn't
fat
want to drop the
fuck.
Will you
belt.
stop bitching about it?
He
just
didn't
wanted
break
the
your
belt.
leg.
Oh, somebody come
didn't
in
break
there
it.
with a fucked up toe. You barely
Yeah.
could walk because you said
He's on a wheelchair with a toe
He got a
broke.
goddamn walker with a broke toe.
Ingrown toenail.
Yeah, I
No, it's a
wrestled with a
broken-
Broke
broke
leg.
fucking
Finished
leg.
it. Finished the match.
Johnny, why won't
Johnny
he
put
sign
him
the
out.
dotted line and take
Scared
on
of him.
Johnny?
I had no idea.
What's
Look,
wrong
look,
with him?
Johnny got the tooth pulled, got new
And he's
glasses.
still here.
Yep.
This motherfucker's over
Where
here
the fuck's
ready to go.
Andy at?
Hey, Johnny.
And he's
went.
also
Last time
out
I
for
seen
some
Andy was in
reason.
Louisiana.
He only wants
Well,
to
now he's back here in South Lexington. He didn't show up when I told him to show
Well,
up.
you beat him up not too
Yeah,
long
you
ago.
got-
That's
I think
true.
he's still scared
Johnny,
of him.
Sean wants
scared
a
of
street
him.
fight.
No, Sean doesn't.
Street fights
come on.
means
Everybody's afraid
anything
of John-
goes
You know,
to.
Johnny is the
Johnny's
only
undefeated.
undefeated
He's
wrestler in this
undefeated.
ring
He's
right
right.
now.
In this
The
room.
only
In this
undefeated
room.
wrestler in this
Sean
room
don't
right
want
now.
none, Johnny.
Sean don't want none.
Yeah.
Sean and
I mean, to get an undefeated worker right
B-
now,
B-
I mean,
B is a four-time city
He is.
Damn,
that's true.
I
He's
would-
four-time state collegiate
So,
champion.
And him and
what
Jonathan
would you
did have
do-
their own
what would
wrestling
you do if
organization at
big
one
money
time.
You got in the ring with
Right.
Johnny? How would we get that worked out?
There'd be a little bit of strategy worked out
B Money and
because you
Run for
gotta
Money.
examine
I would
all
Now,
angles.
let's hear this.
Hey, how proud does it make you though, with B Money wanting to
man.
get into it?
Well, really, all of my nephews and
Yeah, Al's
nieces
leg
and-
drop was stiff as fuck. Too.
Yeah.
Ronnie
Who
just
said that?
Rooster.
Oh, I know.
Yep.
That's because
You guys
Rooster was a
keep
big
leg
guy.
drop.
Ronnie talk about any move being stiff. Really, what about that headbutt?
Oh, God.
Oh,
What about that headbutt? Yeah, that was nice. He landed it every time. It was nice. He worked it every
Looked
time.
great.
Looked real good
that's because it was real.
because it was real.
It's like Blade's
No, he ain't
elbow.
talking about nobody.
But your,
Yeah,
your
Blade
leg drop
has-
was bad.
Man, I did
You
one.
know the move I hated?
The Bubba Bomb.
The fucking bubble
Bubble
bomb.
bomb.
I hated it too. I hated it.
I
You
called it.
always on, dude. I swear to God, I think that's why my fucking tailbone
Dude,
is
when we
fucked up
both-
to this day.
What about we did
That
the
butt
big Bobby's
bomb.
ring?
when we did
Oh.
the double one in that wood ring?
Y'all reversed it.
Hades, we broke it.
Oh my God,
He comes straight out of the curtain.
man! Don't hit my fucking you fat motherfucker. Dude, I hated the bubble bomb.
Damn.
Because it's a butt bomb.
I remember KCW, some idiot decided to help, told everybody set their cage upside down.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Man, that cage went through some shit.
I remember down there at PTW, they was tying the top of it with zip ties.
That's the only way we could get it to stay together was zip tie. I mean, it started in Mount Sterling. That Chuck made that. That's the cage that him and Law Dog made. And by the time it got to PTW, it wouldn't go together. So we're taking zip ties and everything in the world. The door wouldn't stay shut.
That fucking cage went around.
Oh,
man.
I mean, it made the loops.
It made, yes.
But the thing about
it's crazy. I don't even know if Chuck ever made any money off that cage. I know he spent a bunch of money to have
I
it
didn't get a
made,
penny.
but I think he just loaned it to people to use.
And then they never give it back. And then it became property of whoever else
had it
at
for the
that
longest.
time.
That's true.
Kind of like y'all's ring.
I don't know where it
Who ended up with the ring?
went. Somebody got it. I don't know.
Is it PTW? Is that where it was?
No, we still got one. Larry still got ours. I'm talking about the first one we had stolen. Remember we had big 18 by 18 stolen.
Yeah, but didn't you get the insurance claim on that?
Yeah.
but
Wouldn't the insurance claim come in there?
Enough to get the.
not enough to
It
get
wouldn't
enough
enough
to
to
get
get
the
the
18.
Yeah, you know how that happened, right?
You know how
I had
he
to get
got
a
it.
16.
You had to get 16 back.
Had to get a 16 by 16, so you
But
pocketed
the 18 went down to-
Yeah.
No,
You
it
know,
wasn't
the other
enough
place to
still.
run.
Chuck still had to pay some on the 16 by 16.
Rooster
Now, is
says.
that the ring that Larry still got?
Yeah, he
The
still used
16.
it. Yeah.
Rooster
Now, he had
said.
to weld it and stuff.
Bear broke Donnie's leg. I broke his
Accident.
ankle.
Damn.
Rooster, shoot. That's on the 31st,
What's
Rooster.
wrong with Rooster, man?
But just because you didn't
Was
get booked on the 31st.
Hey, Rooster, it's not my fault you're not a green.
Al
I
said
didn't
you wasn't
make
a green,
that
you
call.
can't be booked.
I didn't make the call. It was not my fault.
Chuck said it was Law Dog's cage, but he owes him money. So
Oh, there is. Hey, Chuck, you
So
been-
he took
owes
the
me
cage.
to this day.
Chuck, you should have been on there earlier. Come back and watch
Yeah,
earlier.
Chuck, we was talking good
We
about
put you over as
motherfucker.
one of the top 5
Yeah.
baby faces
That's
in
right,
the history
Chuck.
of the
Take it back,
MWA.
Chuck.
Only behind one or two.
Yeah,
My
now we're going to talk
Good
bad
job,
about
Donnie.
you.
I hated that.
Sorry, I've been absent. He said.
Yeah. Barry like to
Good
knock me
job.
out with that fucking chop.
Oh,
That
it was
mama
great.
chop.
It was
Yes.
great.
Yeah, he's all, dude, all you chicks
Hey, there's Playboy's Lisa there, too. Yeah, Playboy was a good baby face.
Oh, yeah.
Playboy could work. Playboy could work
And
good.
heel. And
I
heel.
remember
Yeah.
we give him that name.
The Playboy?
Yeah.
Playboy.
Playboy's
We was
came
at
out the
Justin
rock star
Idol's
about-
house. We was at Justin Idol's house drinking.
We took him
We
to
was all
Horseshoe.
fucking drunk. We took him to Horseshoes that night. Said we
Fine
take him to all the
establishment.
nicest places.
Fine establishments.
But we left there and we went. We was at Justin's house, and we was all just sitting around there just drinking. And I don't know. I said, man, you ought to use Playboy.
You're all
Scott,
pretty
man."
and stuff. Like,
Yeah,
you're so
motherfucker.
pretty,
Yeah.
man.
And he's like, I kind of like that. And then next
Then
thing
they
you
did
know,
the Playboy in training with
he
Tommy
had all that
Guns.
shit
It
put
was
on
so
his-
good.
He was ready.
Chuck E said, "Appreciate it, fellas. Fuck Al."
So, Bear, one thing Donnie
He
always
was my
told
favorite
me,
person
see if
to
this
turn
is
on.
true,
All right.
no matter what bar you went to, Barry would look at the biggest motherfuckers there, no matter how many there were of them, and say, we're going to go whip our ass.
Nah.
Bear always started.
He always
No,
ran
he
on the
started-
biggest
no,
fuckers there. It didn't matter if it's football players
No,
from
he
UK.
always
I had to fight
started.
their wives. So the ones out fighting.
He'd always pick something out and try to go start with
That's
them.
Bear. That's true.
Bear.
Donnie always got us in trouble.
I'm just saying, Donnie always told me it was you.
No, he lies because he lies all the time.
What was it?
I
Not
never
Cowboys. What
started
was the
one
place
fight.
out there
That's
on Paris
honest,
Pike that
Donnie.
just
What you talking
closed?
about?
Horseshoe.
Horseshoe that y'all go to.
Donnie
the
got
whole
in
fight.
so many fights at Horseshoes, it's unreal.
That's honest.
Donnie and
never-
Shay Van Winkle.
Honest Donnie.
That's
Honest Donnie Green.
Me and Shay may have scrapped with some of them out there, but I mean, for the most part, it was always your fault.
No.
You get drinking and you're like, oh, it's 5-on-2, it's good.
They about to point them out.
I like the numbers. I like the numbers.
Yeah, the numbers are good. It's 6-on-2.
Hey, B Money.
Yeah.
You know how he was turning on you weeks ago.
Shay, that's what Shay
now
say, point them out.
suddenly your brother is now on your side now after he
Donnie,
turned on you.
Oh,
Shay's
Richie's the
point
one who
them
hurt
out.
Brandon.
I don't
Let's
see
get
it.
them.
It's right here. It's Daniel
Now,
Bridger. It
I
said,
will tell
B
one.
Money 4
I
times.
will
I
tell
beat Brandon
Remember
Hill
when
both
Shay had
times.
that brick phone, that Nokia, and
Damn
that girl
right.
said,
But what's funny is that
Well,
wasn't
that's
he the
old
one talking
phone.
crap
He
about
cussed
you
around.
recently?
I
It's
will
his
tell.
fault.
I will
It's
tell
his
that
fault.
horseshoe story.
And he'd
my
always bring up the ankle.
That's my brother, but you know, at the end of the day, I'd still beat his ass either way. Whether he's nice to me or good, you know, I'm still gonna whoop his
I mean,
ass.
you're
in the
four-time
day,
state
and He
champion.
fucking
That's
knows
where
who
the red
four-time
hair
is.
come from.
Yeah.
Jay Van Winkle, Bears fault always.
Ah,
Hey, he
boy.
spoke.
My dog.
He spoke.
Oh, Lord.
Shay, we may say horseshoes holler, but Bear was always starting shit. There was one time that we was at horseshoes. It was me, Bear, Justin, there was a bunch of them. But this big son of a bitch, I don't even know where he come from, but he was huge. He come walking by and I was about to take a drink of this beer, and he bumped into me, and this beer went all over my shirt. I was pissed. I slammed the beer down. I snatched him. I turned him around. That dude, he's huge. Bear's like, as soon as he hit me, he goes, "Dude, let it go, let it go."
Dude's big, motherfucker, big.
I turned around and said, "Hey, dude, you gonna go buy me another fucking beer?" I said, "You might buy me a shirt." He said, "Nah, I'll buy you a beer, man." I was like, "Well, go get me a beer." So he walks off like he's gonna go get a beer. Bear's like, "Dude, why?" Justin's like, Justin's like, "Donnie, for real, man.
It's good size.
This might be the wrong one."
It's good size.
And Bear was like, "Dude, he was twice the size of Bear back.
Dude,
like
huge.
Bear was huge. The Bear was 350 pounds then. And he
You
made
didn't
Bear look
care.
small.
You
So
didn't
Bear's
care.
like, "It might just let it go, dude. It's just a beer." Bear's like, "Fuck it, I'll buy you a beer." I was like, "No, he's gonna buy me a beer."
Idiot.
25 minutes or so went by. This motherfucker out. I'm watching him. He's over talking, blah 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 blah. So I see him coming back around from the bathrooms. He's coming back towards us. I looked at him and Justin. I said, "When this motherfucker comes by, I'm gonna stop him. If he don't buy me a beer, I'm busting his fucking head for him." Bear said, "Dude, just let it go." I said, "I promise." He come walking. I just reached over and said, "Pow!" I just stopped him right as he went to walk. I put my hand on his chest. I pushed him back and just stopped him dead in his tracks. Grabbed the beer bottle. I said, "If you don't buy my beer, I'm busting your fucking head." He said, "Are you serious?" Bear said, "God damn, Bear said, yeah, dude, he's serious." He said, "Hold on, man, I'll get you a beer." I said, "No, you supposed to have got me a beer." He walks directly over and he said, "Hey, I need a beer." So he ends up, I think he bought all of us a beer, didn't
Yeah.
he? He ended up buying me one, Bear one, and Justin one. He bought us all beer. He said, "Dude, are we cool now?" I put the empty beer bottle down. I said, "Yeah, that'll work for now." Well, Bear's like, "Oh, fuck." Dude, he was massive. He would have probably whooped all three of us.
Dude, he's big, motherfucker.
I was gonna fucking give him all I had. I was making a point. Fuck it. But yeah, that's probably the one time that I may have started some shit. The rest of the time it was on Bear.
All right, boys. I'm old.
Yeah,
Oh,
me
looky
too.
there. Casey Chaos.
Casey,
Casey, a true American
Hey,
hero.
that's a good baby
That's
face
another
right
one.
there
That's
when he
what
comes
that
back.
was good. Yes, sir.
Except for when he
Shit.
did the Kurt Cobain or the weird.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing
That's when he
there.
first started,
Yeah.
man.
You know, we're gonna have to do a part 2 of this as well.
Yeah.
When he
Yeah.
first started,
Part
hey,
3
don't
as
forget
well.
your
You got,
shit.
you know, Shane and Kelly next week, man.
Yeah,
That's
next
right.
week, Shane and Kelly.
We
I had to
come
swing
that.
by on that. Just
Then
Wait.
the Green family reunion.
Yes.
What the fuck?
That's gonna be huge.
That's gonna be awesome.
Green family
I just want to
reunion.
You
see.
know I'm gonna be the only one sitting in this studio.
Johnny, you
Nah.
got
I-
advice
they're
for
all
them?
Bobby,
I want to
Bobby.
see
Bobby
Buddy
will not miss.
Bobby
versus
and Cobb,
Bobby
sure.
Green in a street fight. Cause you know
Buddy
it's
versus
coming.
Bobby.
Yep.
You got any advice for them men out there?
Oh God, don't do
About
it.
the
Don't do
beer.
it.
Ah,
Don't do it.
Beard,
That's
what?
right. Shout, we got lots of beer. We got lots of alcohol. We got it all inside that room inside there. You want to
know
bring
what
your own
Barry
alcohol?
wants
You
to
can do that too.
No,
We'll bring it
John,
on.
What does every man love? There's two things.
Oh my God.
Every man loves beer. Every man loves pussy. But fellas, if you go down on her and it stinks, don't you go for it. Go for that beer, cause fellas, that's gonna save a lot of time.
And with
And with that, it's the end of the show.
yeah.
Who's up to say their goodbyes? Cause
Oh,
let me tell you, tonight's been one hell of a show.
Hey,
Love my
thanks everybody
stories.
for tuning in.
Appreciate
It's a
you
nice
tuning
guy
in, the
podcast.
questions.
Like I said, we had the Steels on tonight.
oh, love you, brother.
Next week we got Shane
Shane
and
and
Kelly
Kelly.
on Mount Sterling Wrecking Crew.
The
It's gonna be
Greens
a
at the
hell
end
of
of
a
the
show.
month.
We got
And then the Greens.
got the Greens
That's
family
right.
at the end of the month.
Reunion.
Not really sure who all's coming, but
Lexi.
we'll find out.
I hope
Lexi's
Big
gonna
Bobby's
be
here. He's
there.
my favorite.
Thank you all. Donnie Green out.
That's
All
right.
Peace.
And guys, with that, if you ain't having fun,
You ain't getting none.
Damn Skippy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeet, yeet.